Something special. I feel something special getting ready to happen for you guys. And you know what? There's not another team in the country that deserves something special to happen for them than you guys, okay? Than you guys, okay? You prepared your butts off this week. You're ready to go play Michigan for the Little Brown Jug, are you not? You're ready to go play, okay? We talk about this, man. What you keep, you lose. What you keep, you lose as a football player, okay? What that means is this. Leave it all out there. Leave it all out there for the state of Minnesota and each other. Leave it out there for the state of Minnesota and each other, right? We said this. We said the greatest sound in sports is what, man? Silence. Silence when you're on the road, is it not? Silence when you're on the road, okay? Let's see how quiet we can make 100,000 people be. Let's go get the jug. Let's go.
Well, right now it's not silent. Here come the Michigan Wolverines. ESPN College Football presented by Best Buy. And today, the red-hot Wolverines are back inside the big house. They're going to try to win their 7th straight and hold on to the Little Brown Jug. They're hosting the Golden Gophers of Minnesota, out of bowl contention, but hungry for an upset. After an 0-2 start, Michigan has gone on a tear. They're tied atop the Big Ten with Ohio State. And with the Buckeyes still on their schedule, the Wolverines control their own destiny. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Alongside the coach, Bill Curry, I'm Clay Matvick. And this is going to be a good one today. The Little Brown Jug is at stake. But for these two teams, there is more than just that at stake.
Oh, yeah. If you're Michigan, this is the Big Ten championship. You got to win these games if you're going to try to get into the Rose Bowl. For Minnesota, it's a chance to sort of salvage a dismal season. A win against Michigan would be big. And ironically, because Minnesota moves the ball so well, they got a shot.
Well, Chad Henne will not start at quarterback for the Wolverines today. That means that both teams will be going with freshman quarterback. A redshirt freshman, Adam Weber, is going for Minnesota. He's put up some pretty good numbers.
Oh, man, he's the #1 freshman quarterback in America in terms of yards. 2,046 yards on the season, 19 touchdowns, temper that with 15 interceptions. He's also the second leading rusher on the team with 410 yards. He has a lot of experience for a freshman. His counterpart, Ryan Mallett, on the other hand, only has 2 starts. He doesn't have nearly as many plays. He's still struggling with the basics. He's a true freshman. Remember, the other guy's got a year on him, and more importantly, the other guy, Adam Weber, has played 609 reps. Mallett only 227. That is huge when you're a freshman quarterback.
Well, the last time Minnesota was here 2 years ago, they won the Little Brown Jug. Last year, Michigan took it back in the game in Minneapolis. The oldest trophy in college football in safekeeping for now, and it's on the line next. One of the oldest college football rivalries in the country, Minnesota and Michigan. In fact, meeting number 96 between these two teams. It's been a down year for the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. As for the Michigan Wolverines, it started out slow, but for the last month and a half, Bill Curry, they have been on fire and they've righted the ship.
I think that this game is big for them. Yes, they've gotten the ship righted and they've played very well. But this is the kind of game where they could be looking forward to Michigan State. And if they don't come out here and play really good defense today, they could be in another shootout, and that's not what Michigan wants with a freshman quarterback.
As you look at the series history, recently for Minnesota, there have been some heartbreakers. But a couple of years ago, they actually won here at Michigan Stadium and had control of the Little Brown Jug for 1 year. Michigan taking it back. Annual rematch in Minneapolis. Minnesota has won the toss. And Minnesota will actually receive here to start in the south end zone. Kicking off, Brian Wright, the redshirt freshman out of Salem, Ohio for the Wolverines, and bang, we're underway. Into the end zone, and not taking any chances, Marcus Sherrills, and it'll be a touchback. The Gophers will start first down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Well, Adam Weber is the guy we talked about moments ago, Coach. 19 touchdown passes on the year, but also 15 interceptions. He's a redshirt freshman. He's still learning on the job.
There's no better way than to be on the job, but you do have to suffer through those 15 interceptions, and one would hope that he has learned from those experiences.
The Gophers are looking ahead, and Weber is the quarterback they think could lead them to better days in years to come. He's out of the gun to start. Little inside handoff. And it's Amir Penix out over the 26-yard line. O.B. Azay with the tackle. Actually, that was DeJuan Bennett. The Best Buy starting lineups, both youth and experience on that Minnesota line. They have allowed only 6 sacks, so that bodes well. They do have a couple of seniors. Brinkhouse is the center who anchors everything. The Gophers can move the ball. Weber throws to 2 guys primarily, Decker and Wheelwright. They have 70% of the team's touchdown catches. Again, it's Bennett. Has some room and has enough for the first down. Out over the 35 to the 36. Jamar Adams and Azay combine on the tackle. Ron English is the Michigan defensive coordinator. He calls number 97, Will Johnson, his best technician up front. He's a run stopper. Number 2, Sean Crable, is called the Cheetah. He plays a hybrid position, rush end and linebacker. He's second in the nation in tackles for loss. And the Wolverines have 12 interceptions. Morgan Trent is a good one at corner. They think he's going to be a first-round draft pick someday. Weber on first down. Nobody home here in the flat and almost intercepted. Lands incomplete. Brandon Harrison, the nickelback, almost brought that one back. There was nobody in front of him if he could have got to it.
The throw was lofty. 97 got his hands up and forced just a really very poor picked off.
Here's a look at Tim Brewster in his first year as the head coach in Minnesota. It's been at home by North Dakota State. Play the weak side linebacker Chris Graham, the first one there. He's a senior out of Indianapolis. Lloyd Carr, it's been an interesting year for him as well. It started out so poorly. The loss here at home to Appalachian State. Then the next week, a loss to Oregon. But since then, he's really kept things glued together.
Well, he's a stable guy. He's been doing this a long time.
Third down situation for the University of Minnesota. Weber out of the gun. 3-step drop. Cox fires over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver at the 45-yard line. Brandon Graham, the defensive end, got pressure on Weber, and it lands incomplete.
Brandon Graham on the stunt. Tremendous hit. I'll tell you, Weber really took a shot in the sternum.
That was Ralph Spry, the receiver, the number 4 wideout for Minnesota. He took a shot himself. On the return, Greg Matthews taken down at the 33-yard line, and that's where we'll take a look at the Michigan offense for the first time. And Ryan Mallett is going to be the starter today at quarterback. Chad Henne banged up. This will be the 3rd start this season for Mallett, a true freshman out of Texarkana. This is a pretty big stage for this young man, Coach.
Very big stage, but he should be getting accustomed to it now. He really has struggled with simple basics, and that was the big step that Michigan wanted to take with him this week.
On first down and 10, Mallett hands off to Carlos Brown, also getting a chance to shine here today. Wolverines' offensive line is anchored by 5th-year senior left tackle Jake Long, arguably the best offensive lineman in the country. Carlos Brown will be the feature back today with Mike Hart still hobbled by that high ankle sprain. He had 113 yards against Illinois last week. Showed signs of what he can do when Hart's not in the game.
He has great speed.
Brown, a sophomore out of Franklin, Georgia. He's the lone setback as Mallett is under the gun. Little play action, rolling to his right. Mallett has a man wide open. It's Adrian Arrington. Out across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. Ryan Collado, the right cornerback, made the tackle. It's a gain of 14 on the play.
Here's what Mallett brings to the job that you don't have to coach. It is a kind of accuracy on the run. Doesn't have to have his feet set a certain way. He just flicks it out there, and it's a perfect throw.
Mallett solid 46% completion rate. He has 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. A true freshman playing in his 8th game, making his 3rd start on 1st and 10. Good job by the Minnesota run defense. Shooting in, there's Lee Campbell, the sophomore out of Naples. And Gophers are missing Willie Vandesteeg, but Campbell has done a pretty decent job filling in. Deion Hightower, the middle linebacker, filling in for Mike Sherrills, who's got a hamstring injury. And in the secondary, 3 true freshmen are starting today, Coach. Dominique Barber is the only veteran back there.
I couldn't watch.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. This is going to be ruled incomplete. Whistles blow. Minnesota trying to jump on the football, but it's going to be a dead play.
Yeah, they got 8 coaches at the hash mark trying to convince the official that it's a backward pass. What was commonly known for many years as a lateral, there's really no such term, is a backward pass. If the pass is thrown backward, it's a live ball, and that's why the coaches were urging their guys to get on it. And I'll tell you, that's a question that looks close there.
Yeah, it
but
is.
the officials made a very quick decision, and they're on the spot. They see what we cannot.
So a 3rd down situation for the Wolverines. On 3rd downs this season, Michigan clicking along at 46%. They got it at the 47, their first series of the game. Mallett, pocket collapses around him, now being chased, and down he goes. And Michigan will be forced to punt, so good defensive stand here by the Gophers on their first test.
Very good coverage. That does not look like a good play by the young quarterback, but in reality, it was. The coverage is good. He does not try to force anything. He doesn't start running around. He takes care of the football, puts it away, and runs straight ahead. That's exactly what he's supposed to do. Punt the ball.
Aaron Decker back to return this punt for Minnesota, standing at the 11. It's going to sail over his head off the foot of Zoltan Mesko. The Wolverines trying to pin Minnesota deep, but it rolls into the end zone, and Minnesota for the 2nd time will have it at the 20 when we come back. The big house is full as usual. Michigan Stadium, the Little Brown Jug on the line. No score, first quarter. Lloyd Carr and the Wolverines back at home today. 10:43 to go here in the first quarter. No score, Michigan and Minnesota. In a microcosm, the key to Michigan's turnaround since the start of the year and the problems that have endured for Minnesota are based on that, the turnover margin. Minnesota ranking last in the Big Ten, Michigan first. Minnesota with the football back, handing off on 1st down, and a good run on 1st down.
A good run indeed, and DeJuan Bennett has been a good runner every time he's touched the ball today. He really has a burst, and he's breaking tackles. He's spinning out of things. This Michigan defense has got their hands full. They have struggled mightily at times this year with the spread offense, and this is called the spread coast offense, and we'll talk some more about that.
Bennett's back there again for the University of Minnesota. Weber again out of the shotgun. On 2nd down and short, it is Bennett, and he's got enough for the 1st down. Now the Gophers have had a fairly healthy season, but last week they lost sophomore running back Jay Thomas for the rest of the season to a right knee injury. So Bennett is the guy that will do most of the mail carrying today.
Yeah, and with Penix injured too, although Penix has been in this game, he's not full speed. And the injury thing really mounted in the last couple of weeks.
Bennett already 4 carries for 30 yards. 1st down and 10. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the near side for the Gophers. 9:42 to go here in the opening quarter. Weber has some ability on his feet. He keeps here, gets it out over the 40, down at the 41. Jumping on top of him there, Tim Jamison, the junior defensive end, who's been doing a solid job in his first year as a starting defensive lineman. But Weber does have the ability to run.
You're looking at the 2nd leading runner on this Minnesota team, and a marvelous job leading up in there by big offensive lineman Dominic Alford. Nice job of lead blocking.
2nd down and 3, ball at the 40. They're going to run again. And again, it's DeJuan Bennett. Bennett has also not been 100% healthy. He has suffered from a sprained ankle in recent weeks, but he's toughing through it, and mostly because the Gophers really need him right.
I'm very impressed so far. Initial impression, the offensive line of Minnesota is not a bit intimidated by this Wolverine reputation. They're just coming off and smacking them.
As advertised, the Gophers can move the football. First down and 10 over the middle. Man wide open, and it's caught. Eric Decker over the middle. The sophomore out of Cold Spring, Minnesota, having one of the best receiving seasons in Minnesota history. Tackled by Chris Graham, but not before a gain of 22 and another Minnesota first down.
This is the 54th catch of the year by Decker. Excellent protection by offensive line that has been providing excellent protection all year long. The deep developing dig pattern, perfect throw from Weber.
Leads the team in receptions, second in the Big Ten, 6.6 a game. Weber trying to cut the corner on the right side. Has it up for the first down, dives inside the 20. And Minnesota in Michigan's red zone and banging on the door. Engelmann made the stop, and so did Obieze.
This is what makes the misdirection offense of the spread so dangerous. Now there's Sean Crable with a big reputation, and he's having a marvelous year. His job was to contain that quarterback, and he did not get that job done. He sank down inside with the fake. He took the bait.
First and 10 at the 18. The Gophers moving the ball. Here's DeJuan Bennett. Inside handoff. Has it inside the 15-yard line. Azay, the middle linebacker, again there to wrap him up. Now, the Gophers, coach, were more of a power run offense under Glenn Mason, but under Tim Brewster and offensive coordinator Mike Dunbar, it is a spread offense. You see different ways to attack a defense out of these Gophers.
Well, I really like the terminology, spread coast. It's a combination of the spread and the West Coast, which means we're going to pound it at you.
4 receivers set again, and again Weber keeps. Down to the 12.
Now, the offensive line I mentioned a moment ago, I want to talk about the backs a little bit. DeJuan Bennett and Adam Weber, the two backs that have been prominent in this attack so far today, neither of them has gone down at the first tackle yet. They drag people, they make extra yards, and here's the first crucial third down situation for the Gophers to try to keep this drive alive.
Third down and 4 at the 12. Ernie Wheelwright, one of the top receivers, down at the bottom of your screen for Minnesota. Little play action. Pass incomplete. Trey Herndon, the freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida, the number 3 receiver for Minnesota, the intended target there, lands incomplete. And Minnesota's field goal unit will walk out. It looked like somebody got a hand on that pass.
Tim Jamison, number 90, on the pressure. Look at it. Look at the big man run. He got a piece of the football and forced the errant throw. Excellent hustle by Tim Jamison, left defensive end.
29-yard attempt here for Joel Monroe. Out of the hold of Justin Kusick. And the Gophers draw first blood here in the Big House. And we heard Tim Brewster's speech before the game. How quiet can we make this building? Well, so far it's pretty quiet in Ann Arbor.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Best Buy. For a complete home theater experience, get HD done right at Best Buy. Saturn, with 5 totally new models, it's just something to rethink about. Saturn. And Diet Dr. Pepper. Treat yourself to the rich, decadent taste. There's nothing diet about it.
Now Minnesota has come to play here in Ann Arbor. 10 plays, 68-yard drive. Results in a 29-yard field goal by Joel Monroe, and the Gophers are on top 3-0 with 6.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Carlos Brown is back to return this kick for Minnesota. Brown circling under it at the 10. Here he comes. Across the 20. Makes a move to the 30 and down at the 33-yard line. Decent field position for this Michigan offense. And we need to see something now, Coach, from Ryan Mallett and company, because, you know, we haven't seen anything yet. And with Chad Henne on the sideline in street clothes and Mike Hart out of this game, a young guy like Mallett's going to have to step up.
Well, I'm going to make a prediction. We're going to have a football game here today because Minnesota did indeed come to play, as you said. 10 running plays, 3 passes so far. They've just knocked Michigan off the ball. Let's see if Michigan can answer.
Mallett checking at the line. Mark Moondros, the fullback, ahead of Brown, but Mallett wants to pass, looks right, comes back left, pass incomplete. Great coverage there by Kevin Mannion. The weak side linebacker laid a nice hit there, and Mallett's pass incomplete again. We said Chad Henne is on the sideline today. After not missing a start in his first 3 years as the Michigan quarterback, Henne has missed games against Notre Dame, Penn State, and now Minnesota. And the team has dearly missed him each time.
But they've won. They've won.
Yeah.
They've won each of them.
Brandon Miner is in the game here for the first time, and he gets his first carry, takes it wide right, and is run out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Miner was considered the number 2 back behind Hart, but he's also been slowed by some injuries, not 100%. Now they think he's pretty close, so he's going to get some work here today. Again, Brown will be the feature guy.
Well, he's running against a defense that's given up 533.6 yards per game, among the worst in the nation, and yet Minnesota is playing lights out on this side of the ball as well.
So here's a 3rd down and 6. Michigan unable to convert on their last 3rd down attempt. Mallett, quick drop, throws it, has it up for the first down as he hits Adrian Arrington, the redshirt junior out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Stopped by Dom Barber and Ryan Collado. Pickup of 13 on the play.
Nice throw and catch here. This time Mallett does have his feet set, and look at the slant. That's a perfect throw. That's exactly what he's got to do. He will not be a 46% passer and win this game. He'll need to do a little better job each week as he progresses as a true freshman.
With that catch now, Arrington setting a new career high. Back to the run game. Brown got some room around that corner. Ball comes loose, and it looks like Minnesota has recovered. Right in front of the Minnesota bench, the Gophers knock it loose, and it looks like they've recovered.
And you think about what Brewster was saying in that locker room. This place gets very quiet. It has been quiet for the most part all day long, and this is exactly what Minnesota needs to stay in the game. Michigan's a team that's a +8, meaning that they're 8 takeaways more than giveaways on the season.
Steve Davis knocked it loose, Coach.
Yeah, Minnesota is a -15 team, and right now they're playing at +1 in this game. And they got a shot to take another lead.
Kyle Ferret recovered, the left cornerback. Minnesota runs on 1st down. And it was DeJuan Bennett for the short gain. And again, you're right, this building is very quiet. That was Tim Brewster's game plan.
Yeah, it's a great idea to plant that in your player's mind. Every time you make a play, every time you knock it loose and get something going, whether it's a 3-point drive, a nice drive, or a turnover, you just think about it. Let's keep this place quiet.
Second and 8. Weber. Nice pass and catch. Wow. Eric Decker, another 1st down, and the Gophers continue to move the chains. Devon Warren, the right cornerback, was able to make the tackle, but you can see that the chemistry between Weber and Decker and Wheelwright is pretty good.
Here's what happens when you get a chance to play as much as Weber has played. You develop that chemistry with your receivers, and you don't look like a freshman anymore. He looks like a veteran quarterback.
Decker averaging 81 yards per game receiving. The play is going to be whistled dead. A false start on Minnesota.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 64. The 5-yard penalty remains, 1st down.
The spread coast offense is the product of the mind of Mike Dunbar, the fine offensive coordinator for Minnesota, who coached at Cal a year ago, Northwestern. He helped establish that Randy Walker offense in 2002, 2005, all based on the spread, but also on a pounding running attack. That's a tough combination.
4 receivers again. Bennett next to the quarterback, Weber. Off his back foot, threw it out, and lands incomplete. He was trying to hit Bennett coming out of the backfield. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 15.
Really nice job by the middle linebacker, Eze there. Number 45. Michigan is just not going to let Minnesota throw screens. Eze's right in the middle of it. He had to throw it away. And that's good poise and presence by the freshman quarterback.
The Gophers' offensive unit has been real good at times this season. In fact, they ranked 25th in the nation in total offense, 438 yards per game. Trying to move the football here on 2nd and 15. Weber gets in trouble, and he's down. Down at the 44-yard line. And it was Crable and Brandon Graham combining on the loss.
This is an offensive line that's only given up 6 sacks on the year, among the best in the country. But there's immediate pressure from Crable. No chance for Weber to adjust and set his feet. So again, he showed presence that time by simply taking the sack and not taking a stupid chance.
How good is Crable? I mean,
very.
Talked about his tackles for loss, 2nd in the nation coming in, and he's got one there again. 3rd down and 18. Minnesota 0 for 2 so far on 3rd downs today. Low snap. Weber brings it up, wants to throw it to the right sideline, lands incomplete. He was trying to hit Decker. It was underthrown, and it looks like Decker might be hurt on that Minnesota sideline. There's also a penalty marker now.
They're going to call a chop block on Minnesota. Now, what is a chop block? We'll try to locate that for you, and Decker is struggling over there. A chop block is where a defensive lineman is engaged by one lineman, and while engaged by that
illegal
one...
chop block, offense number 53 and number 77. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It remains 3rd down.
Now that's Tony Brinkhouse, the center, and the right guard, DJ Burris. If one man posts the guy, let's see if we can see it. All right, technically, the one man should hit him high and the other one low a count later. That would be a chop block. You could say that, I mean, that was a good call. Brinkhouse hit him high, the other guy hit him low, and you're really not supposed to do that. And now it's 3rd and forever.
They'll call it 3rd and 33. 2 receivers to either side. Bennett's in the backfield. And they're going to give it to Bennett, just try to get a few back. He's got it out over the 30-yard line. And Minnesota with a conservative call there, and they just want to punt it away now.
There are not a lot of good calls on 3rd and 33 to pick up the 1st down, so what you try to do is get a little field position, and that was the best job the Michigan defense has done of stopping Bennett.
So Greg Matthews is back to return this kick. He's at the 30. Justin Kusick, who ranks 2nd in the Big Ten with a 44-yard average per punt. It's Matthews with the catch at the 39, and that's where Michigan will have it when we come back. Minnesota has kept this building pretty quiet so far. It's 3-0 Gophers. Without their senior quarterback Chad Henne and that guy Mike Hart, their top running back, Michigan first 2 possessions, 3 and out and a fumble. They're trying to get something going now. They've got the ball back again. Ryan Mallett going to the air deep down the left sideline, and it lands incomplete, but it's going to be pass interference against the Golden Gophers. That's Collado back there, and he's going to get flagged.
It may not be on the Golden Gophers. That may be offensive. You were right again. That's why you're the play-by-play guy.
Not right often.
I want to take a look at this, though, because it looked like to me there was a little jostling from both guys. You see the hands? Yeah, the hands. Both players are jostling.
Well, that was
the officials are right there, and we're not. But that looked like it could have gone either way.
We knew that would be a storyline, Coach. Again, 3 true freshmen, including Collado, in that secondary for Minnesota. He played last year at Hills Christian High School in Cincinnati, and today's at the Big House. Quite a contrast.
Yeah, they didn't have the same kind of crowd.
No. Brandon Miner back in the game, number 4, running the football for Michigan. Straight ahead, but not a lot of operating room. And it'll bring up 3rd down again here for Michigan as Kevin Mannion made that stop. There's a look at the secondary, and Curtis Thomas, another freshman. Collado, a true freshman. Kyle Therrett out of Denver, Colorado, a true freshman. The only guy back there is Don Barber, who's got any experience.
Don Barber comes from a great football family, and he's in charge of the kiddie corps. I really couldn't watch if I had 3 freshmen in the secondary.
Excuse me, I said third down. It's second down and 10 at the Minnesota 46. Mallet under center. They are going to run again. Go to Brandon Miner. Spins. And down at the 42.
Michigan is really struggling to run the football. And this, again, against a Minnesota defense that's average giving up 5.2 yards per carry for the year. They have not exactly been stalwarts against the run game, but they've come out today and really played well. And if they can continue this, this is going to be a very difficult game for the Michigan team. The run game is critical with their young quarterback.
Adam Krause is under center, or excuse me, is at center for Michigan. Justin Boren, who also plays center, has moved to guard. Batted at the line, and it lands incomplete. The Golden Gopher defense is going to force another Michigan punt as Ryan Mallett and this Wolverines offense cannot get any traction.
Everett Withers, the defensive coordinator for Minnesota, wants to be a pressure defense. They want to come with the blitz early and often, and that's exactly what you see here. That's an 8-man blitz. The coverage is actually pretty good, but that doesn't matter because the ball's tipped anyhow.
That was Eric Small, number 51, who got his hand on it. A junior college transfer from suburban Chicago. This is going to bounce at the 5. They try to keep it out, but they can't do it. And it's another touchback, the 3rd time Minnesota will have a touchback, in 1st and 10 at the 20. Well, Saturday night, the Ohio State Buckeyes try and stay unbeaten and rank number 1 in the BCS as they head into the whiteout in Happy Valley for a meeting with Joe Pa's Nittany Lions. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines at 8 Eastern. Coming up later tonight on ABC, college football lives here. That's going to be a good one, a real test for the number 1 team in the land.
Guess what happens if Joe Pa manages to win it? He ties Bobby Bowden for the all-time win thing.
I saw that today.
Yeah, he's 1 away.
Amir Penix in the game as the running back. He's going to get the carry here. Changes directions at the 20. Slides down at the 22-yard line. And Will Johnson, the defensive tackle we talked about earlier, makes the stop. Now, Penix had an excellent junior season last year, but this year injuries have reared their ugly head, including a quad pull and the always problematic turf toe. This one out in the flat to DeJuan Bennett, pulled down at the 20-yard line. And we're going to have a second down and check that 3rd down and long here. Brandon Harrison made that stop.
It's another facet of the spread coast offense. It's a true option. Running to the left, and it's simply a quarterback reading on the pitch man. And look at the blue shirts. Excellent job of stringing it out. Crable's there. He's just a cleanup guy, though. Everybody played responsibility football. Nice option defense.
8 seconds to go here in the opening quarter, and we got a timeout call. Now, the Michigan Wolverines have been beaten here at home already this season, once by Oregon, but in the season opener they were stunned by Appalachian State. And you know, I'm sure there are fans in this building already that are having flashbacks to that day.
Well, Appalachian State does a nice job, not just with the spread offense, but they got skill. Look at the speed. Wow.
Final in that one, 34-32. That game, of course, kind of set the tone for the entire season. It's been one upset after another this year. That was just the first of many. It seems like every team that gets the number 5 ranking in the country goes down. At that time, Michigan was number 5. App State beat them.
Yeah, but people think that was such a huge upset, and of course it was, but I think the Stanford Southern California upset was even bigger.
3rd down and 10. Crowd getting into it. Weber comes to the near side. Ernie Wheelwright makes the catch. Still on his feet. Steps out of bounds. And I don't know where they're going to spot this. He was trying to get to the 30-yard line for a 1st down. Donovan Warren kind of guided him out. We'll see where they spot it.
Donovan Warren is a guy that Ron English is really high on. He's a true freshman from San Diego, and Coach English says this guy's going to be a #1 draft choice in the National Football League.
That's short, so Minnesota will have to punt. Justin Kusick will come back on. So Michigan's defense needed a little lift here just before the end of the first quarter. And looks like they got it. Greg Matthews back to return this kick. This will be the last play of the quarter. Matthews finds some running room on the right side. Now to the 40, to the 45, spins and pulled down at the 50-yard line. Good field position for the Wolverines to start the second quarter. But a good start for Minnesota. They have the lead after one, 3-0, and on the road with the Little Brown Jug on the line.
It is a wonderful start for the Golden Gophers. I promise you, Brewster is just thrilled at this point.
Now the Wolverines came out into the big house trying to make a statement right away, but it's been the Minnesota Golden Gophers who put up the only points so far today. Chad Henne injured his throwing shoulder against Oregon in game 2 of the season and then re-injured it last week in the game against Illinois. So he's got some soreness. He's in street clothes today. They're not taking any chances with him as Mallett fumbles the football in the backfield. Still loose. Minnesota has recovered. Nobody in front. And it's a touchdown for Minnesota. A 46-yard touchdown return for Barber after he picked up the fumble.
Yeah, and he looked a little bit like his brother going down the sideline. And his dad, both of whom were fine running backs at Minnesota. And those DBs don't get many chances like this. And he scooped that ball up like a shot down the sideline. Yes, it was a missed exchange between Mallett. No, it really, nobody touched him. He just dropped the ball. Back to the basics. When it goes on the ground, the DB picks it up, you're in trouble.
And the extra point by Monroe is good, and it's 10-0 Minnesota. Huge play to start the second quarter.
Yeah, and just awful shades of what happened last week at Illinois when he dropped the ball in a similar fashion. He simply never really completely got the snap. And the ball was not seated in his hands, and then he tried to make the handoff. When that happens, you simply have to fall on the ball. And so far today, when plays have broken down, Mallett's done a nice job of just taking what happened, get on the ground, and punt the ball or run the next play. In this case, he tried to make something happen and put it on the ground.
To Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
On the next play. In this case, he tried to make something happen and put it on the ground, and it cost his team a touchdown. And I'm telling you, this place is real quiet now.
Barber probably on his way to all Big Ten honors this season, having a great year. We saw Henne in street clothes. So unlike last week where he came back into the football game after missing a few series, it's no Chad Henne to the rescue. This is Ryan Mallett's game to win or lose. And right now, it's not going so well for Michigan.
Well, it's hard to believe that he's played this far into the season. And while he hasn't played nearly as much as Weber has, he's certainly played enough to get the snap and do basic exchanges and such things as that.
Here's Carlos Brown again at the 5. He would love to get some decent field position here, but some good coverage by the Golden Gophers. Out to the 21, that's where Michigan will start it. So look at that turnover margin. +2 today is Minnesota, completely opposite from what they've been doing.
Football is a game of ball security, field position, and physical dominance. That's what football, those three things determine in that order. If you can't manage your turnover margin, you're in deep trouble. And right now, Michigan's in deep trouble. They've had field position all day and haven't been able to get close to the goal line.
Mallett, a clean handoff this time to Minor. Short gain out to the 23-yard line. Deion Hightower, the middle linebacker, brought him down to the ground. Mallett now, 6'7", 252 pounds. He is a big guy back there, but just lacks a lot of experience. They like his potential. They like his arm strength. just hasn't had the reps, and we've seen his inexperience shine through here today.
Yes, we have.
Minor again. The lone setback as Mallet checks. 2nd down and 7. Nice catch. This little spin move. And Greg Matthews is going to be stopped short of the first down. He's down at the 29. Steve Davis and Todd Meisel, the defensive tackle, there to make the stop. You know, last year, the Wolverines won their first 11 games, and injuries were very few for this team. It was easy to keep the morale up. This year, it's been more of a challenge for everybody. But 2 losses to start the season, and then key injuries to guys like Henny and Hart.
Yeah, but some people have really stepped up big and played very well in the last 6 games.
On 3rd down and 1, Minor finds a hole on the left side, gets it out to the 34-yard line. Pickup of 5 and enough for the first down.
Center quarterback exchange is such an integral part of every football play for obvious reasons. That one wasn't perfect right there. The ball should come up exactly the same way every time. Michigan has an interesting situation in Adam Krause and Justin Boren each play center, but Boren's left-handed, and it's a different kind of exchange. So you see Krause in there now, number 57, because he snaps it with his right hand.
Mallet to throw on 1st down. Coming back to the ball, Adrian Arrington. Ryan Collado there in the coverage, but it's a gain of 7 on the play.
Well, Mallet is rattled. That was a throw he should have never made. That was a hard corner sitting there on that route. What does that mean? A hard corner means that the corner's up in the flat and he has deep help. He doesn't have deep responsibility, so he can just sit there, and he knew he should have intercepted that football. Collado knew it. He was disgusted with himself.
On 2nd down and 3, Minor finds a hole, then he stood up at the 45-yard line. A big hit by Steve Davis, but not before Minor is able to get the yardage needed for the first down.
Strong linebacker Steve Davis playing strong on that play. This is a Big Ten tight tackle. Bo Schembechler felt that one, and Bo would have loved it, except that it came on the wrong team. That's a form tackle. When you hear the term form tackle, that's how it looks. Nice job, Steve.
Davis is a junior out of St. Louis. Carlos Brown back in the backfield. Mallet cocks his arm, brings it back, now goes deep downfield, looking for Arrington, stretching out. What a catch at the 30-yard line. Adrian Arrington finally back in the good graces of his teammates and coaching staff. After several off-field distractions last year and this spring, he is really hitting his stride. What a play there.
Yeah, nice catch. But Ryan Mallet, just when you think, oh, gee, this kid's going to get rattled, he makes a great pump fake. That was not just a good fake. Faking is crucial in football. Look at this. Now, the corner bites on it. Arrington breaks it up the field, and a perfect throw.
Brown inside the 30. Down at the 27, that pass play to Arrington, a gain of 22. And Arrington was the hero last week in that Illinois game.
Yeah, by throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Not for catching it.
His pass to Mario Manningham even surprised him, he said. They'd been running that thing in practice. Greg Matthews was the guy that had been throwing the ball in practice, but when the play was called, Arrington was in the game, and he was like, are we actually doing this?
Well, he looked like a guy that had played quarterback in high school, which in fact he did. Oh, look here, we got a little razzle-dazzle.
A direct snap to Junior Hemingway. And he's down at the 25-yard line. Minnesota was able to adjust to it. Now here's that play last week. Michigan at Illinois. That's Arrington on the receiving end of a big play. Then Kyle Hudson muffs it for Illinois. They recover, and here's the play we were talking about. Arrington to Manningham. That was a huge win for Michigan. It gave Illinois its second Big Ten loss, and everyone in the league now has 2 conference losses except Michigan and Ohio State, so Michigan really needed that one to keep control of their own destiny. Mallet had it batted down at the line again. That is the second time today that Eric Small has done that.
And you missed a whole lot of fun while we were doing that highlight package, because when you saw the direct snap a moment ago, Mallett was lined up at wide receiver. He ran down and knocked the free safety down. This time the free safety blitzes. Everybody blitzes, in fact. And the ball is tipped and batted by Eric Small.
Small is one of the team's strongest guys in the weight room. Threw his weight around there, got in position and knocked it down. This is a 42-yard field goal attempt for Casey Lapata, the senior. Line drive kick. And he's got it. So Michigan needed points on the board after that drive. They would have liked 6, but they'll settle for 3 here. 10-3, 10-15 to go. As Minnesota is surprising this crowd here at the Big House as they're in this game. Alongside Bill Curry, I'm Clay Matvick back in Ann Arbor. Minnesota has come to play today, leading 10-3, 10-15 to go here in the second quarter. And the Little Brown Jug is on the line. It's the oldest, probably most famous college football trophy. Right now, Michigan has possession after a win last year in Minneapolis. Ryan Wright. Short kick bounces at the 24. And Marcus Sherrills fields it on a hop, finds a little running room up the sideline right in front of that Michigan bench. He's out at the 31. That's time for our Aflac trivia question. All right, Coach, here we go. 4 true freshmen have started at quarterback for Michigan. Besides Ryan Mallett, can you name the other 3?
Yeah, I can. But
you don't even have to think about it?
Well, we looked it up yesterday.
You're not supposed to tell them that.
I knew one of them without any help.
The answer coming up. DeJuan Bennett. Delayed handoff. Finds the seam out over the 40 to the 43 and couldn't stay in bounds out at the 44-yard line. Brandon Engelman knocked him out, but a great run by DeJuan Bennett and some good blocking up front by that Minnesota offensive line.
Just a great job of turning the cheetah, Sean Crable, out. Dominic Alford, number 76, the right tackle, is having a heck of a day. He pulled and led up inside to the other side of the line, and that time did a nice job on his side. And nobody has tackled Bennett without him gaining extra yards yet.
1st and 10. Weber wants to throw again over the middle, and it almost was intercepted at the 33-yard line. Jamar Adams has done a great job in pass defense this year, leading the team in pass breakups, a couple of interceptions, almost had number 3 right there.
Yeah, he's had 9 pass breakups this year, and he's a real role model. They call him Preacher. He's a man of very strong convictions and leads a Bible study in his apartment every Tuesday night. Just a wonderful young man. Jamar Adams, number 22.
Second and 10. And that was Decker who stretched out for it. Miscommunication perhaps on that play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 now for the Gophers.
Yeah, and Decker stretched out for it. Had he caught it, he was in for another serious lick by Terrence Taylor. Excellent recognition at screens. Terrence Taylor's a defensive tackle. He made contact with his blocker, immediately sniffed out what was happening and turned and ran toward the play.
Minnesota 47% this season on 3rd downs, but today having trouble 0 for 4 so far. Crowd again getting amped up. Weber tried to find Decker again. Penalty flag comes in. And pleading his case is Warren. We'll see if he's going to fall on deaf ears or
Very
he actually has a case.
Very deaf. No, he had a hand on the back of the receiver, and this is something that Donovan will have to learn. He's a young player as well. We've talked a lot about the youth of the quarterbacks. Well, being a young corner is a very difficult thing as well. Again, fine protection, and on the slant, you can see that right hand was on the side of the receiver, shoving Decker just ever so slightly. That's going to be called every time.
Now, Warren is a true freshman starting in the secondary, but unlike Minnesota's situation, Warren has 3 upperclassmen back there to help him out.
That's right. It's just a reciprocal over there with Barber.
So Minnesota gets a break, first down and 10. Weber, little inside look again. And down at the 41 is Bennett. And talking with Tim Brewster this week, Coach, he thinks that Bennett has the tools to be a big-time Big Ten back someday. From what you've seen here today, would you agree that he's got some of the makeup?
I think he's a big-time Big Ten back right now. I don't think he has to wait. I think he's a heck of a player. If he can do this all day, he's going to make a lot of yards.
He's among the 10 true freshmen to play this season for Minnesota. Weber's going to keep it. Ball comes loose, and Michigan has it now. Now, we talked about Minnesota's turnover problem this season, and that is turnover number 24 on the year for the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, their turnover margin is minus 15 coming in. They've gotten 2 turnovers today, which is a real good thing for them. That has not been their habit. You can't see that Weber was careless with the ball, but it was punched out somewhere in the middle of all that.
Chris Graham knocked it loose. Brandon Graham recovered. No relation.
I couldn't see Chris Graham's number. Nice job by Graham to knock it out.
Well, this is exactly what the Wolverines needed. Mallet and that offensive unit going back to work. And Brown out over the 40. Steve Davis brings him down at the 42.
Yeah, and they like to run to their left, although they don't try to make a living just running one way. But Jake Long, the ever-present great offensive lineman, and really I don't know that I've ever come to Michigan and heard anybody extolled so much for his leadership and the quality of human being as Jake Long. He is really respected by his coaches and teammates.
Mel Kiper has him as the number 2 overall pick in the next NFL draft. Penalty markers down again. Looks like offside. Now Long is quite a story. 2-time captain. And he is going to
prior to the snap, false start, offense number 65. That's a 5-yard penalty. It remains second down.
So a false start on Michigan. There's a look at Long, 50-year senior out of Lapeer, Michigan.
His arms are bigger than my legs. he must have a problem in the morning getting up and putting his arms down his pants legs. Look at his arms. Forget the stuff on his arms. Look at the biceps.
It takes a little more ink to tattoo an arm like that than the average arm.
It takes a truckload.
Mallet looking to the right, throws it out there. That's Greg Matthews who brings it in, takes a knock, stays on his feet, and he's toppled at the 41-yard line. Greg Matthews is a durable receiver out there. Hightower finally brought him down. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 6. Wow.
That is the definition of pass protection. When you're the aggressor and you're the pass rusher and you get knocked down and then the guy runs over to your position and smiling and talking to you after he just hammers you to the ground, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, he makes it look too easy.
Lee Campbell can't be happy.
3rd and 7. Wide open is Manningham. Bobbles it and catches it down at the 11. What a grab by Mario Manningham. The team's leader in every receiving category. He shows you why there. We've seen 2 great catches now by Michigan receivers. One by Arrington and that one now by Mario Manningham.
Well, the catch is very nice. It really is. The throw is even better. Look, he guns this thing. But the crucial thing that you can't see on the tape is Manningham's acceleration. He exploded when he saw that the ball was going to be beyond him. Great receivers do that.
44 yards on that hooker. Back to the ground, and Minor just bulling his way inside the 10, taking bodies with him. And now it feels like the energy is getting back here on this Michigan team.
I wish you could see what happened in the last 5 yards of that route. It's the difference in regular mortals and people like Manningham. He is not he can fly. He's got to be a sub 4.4 guy. That burst at the end was the difference in getting the ball into this field position.
2nd and 2. Minor, his 8th carry of the day. This is going to go for a loss. Dion Hightower who Tim Brewster says has twitch, which according to Brewster means he has the natural instinct to play that position. Makes a good stop here.
I'll show you some instinct by Neil Allen, number 98, who beats the backside cutoff and does a great job of completely destroying the play. You just cannot allow that kind of penetration. Nice job by the big man from Marietta, Georgia.
Allen is making his 3rd straight start at defensive tackle for Minnesota. Michigan 3 for 6 today on 3rd down. They've got a 3rd and 4 situation. Mallett out of the gun, looking to the end zone. Lofts it to the corner. He was trying to hook up there with Arrington, and it fails to click.
No, he threw it away. He really did. He didn't want to take a chance down there in this field position. And as much as you'd like to force something in there, he showed some wisdom and some maturity. Stepped up and just got rid of the football, threw it in the nickel seat so they'd have a chance to kick the field goal. Now, I got to say this about KC Lapata. He kicks a low ball. He'll be vulnerable to the block.
Lapata from 26. And his 2nd field goal of the day, and it's 10-6 Minnesota. That's got to be a moral victory for the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, that was a nice stop for them. Very nice.
6:16 to go before half. It's a 4-point game. Hey. Well, 6:16 before half. We've got a football game, Coach Curry.
Yes, indeed. The Golden Gophers do not resemble their former selves, especially on defense. They've played very well. And had they not made some mistakes on offense, they'd be in better shape than they are. But they are ahead.
Minnesota will get the football back. Harold Howell, number 3, and number 24, Marcus Sherrills back to return this kick from Brian Wright. Another short kick taken by one of the up men. A fair catch called for at the 31 by William Brody. And we got a break. Weber in that offensive unit for the Gophers will have it when we come back.
My name is LaDan.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Chili's. Break out of your rut at Chili's. Pepper in some baby backs. Pepper in some fun. Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
6:12 to go before half. 10-6 Golden Gophers. 1st and 10 for Minnesota at their own 31. Weber out of the gun. Play action. Looking over the middle. Tipped and incomplete. And getting his hand on it will be Azay, and Tim Jamison with the pressure.
The spread coast offense has got built-in answers to defensive structures. That time, Michigan's defense tricked the young quarterback Weber. They lined up as if they were going to play man-free, dropped into a 3 deep, and he had no place to go with it.
DeJuan Bennett is toppled after a gain of 2.
Most of the calls are made at the line of scrimmage by the quarterback. It's a tremendous responsibility, and this is why it's helpful that Weber is a redshirt freshman. Even though he was not in this system a year ago, he was in college. Look at Will Johnson coming down from the backside. The most fundamentally sound of the defensive linemen for Michigan, and now Michigan's got a chance to get a big stop.
Minnesota has up to now kept the crowd out of it, but we're hearing from this big house faithful now. Weber 0 for his last 5. 0 for 6. That one lands incomplete. Trying to hit Decker, but good coverage in the secondary. There is the true freshman, Devon Warren.
Yeah, and Weber's only been sacked 6 times this year. But here comes the all-out blitz, and a nice job of getting clean. Terrence Taylor, who's the big guy with all the potential, could be a dominant player. Look at the acceleration of the big guy.
Matthews will have a return here. Takes it at the 18 to the 30 and down at the 33. Now the emotion has changed here. Michigan has all the momentum now. 5:22 to go before the half. Number 20 Michigan trailing Minnesota 10-6 A few minutes here before half. And Chad Henne, Mike Hart, both out of the game today for Michigan. I think the way this one started, there were probably some people here in this building who thought maybe that wasn't a wise move to rest those guys, but it seems like Michigan's getting some momentum back here now, Coach Curry.
Yeah, but they're behind.
Yes, they are now. Mallett in trouble, directing traffic, trying to run away, but is caught from behind at the 39-yard line. And it's Garrett Brown who brings Mallett down. It's been a tough first half for Mallett.
Yeah, very difficult with an unforced error, just putting the ball on the ground and losing it for a touchdown. He's made some marvelous throws, and he showed nice presence not only on that play, but several times in the pocket when protection broke down. He has done the correct thing, whether it's to take a sack or get rid of the ball.
Second down and 3. Minor has room to run. First down and more. Into Minnesota territory, down at the 45. He was caught by Steve Davis, a strong side linebacker, but a big rip for Minor, 16 yards on that carry.
Well, I was just about to say that the Michigan defense has actually played very well against one of the better offenses in the Big Ten. But the Michigan offense hadn't generated much. They certainly hadn't put more than 6 points on the board. That's obvious.
Minor again. Go to the right side this time. It seems like this Michigan offensive line is starting to take control.
Yeah, Mr. Versatility, number 52, Stephen Schilling, the right tackle, just made a great form block. We talked about the form tackle a few moments ago. The Schilling right there. Watch the right tackle come off the ball, get right in the middle of his guy. Right there. Now drive, drive. Watch the feet move. You can get away with having your arms extended like that now. That's within the rules. Nice job.
Carlos Brown back in as he and Minor are taking turns. Decent run on first down, a pickup of 4.
And Jake Long just wearing people out, wearing them like a shirt, ending up on top of them on the ground, and that's why the NFL people think so much of him. They like people who finish blocks.
He's a front runner for both the Lombardi and Outland trophies. And we talked about it. Mel Kiper thinks he's going to be the number 2 pick in the upcoming draft. Glenn Dorsey, the defensive tackle from LSU, is the only guy that he has ranked higher right now.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's good too. Mallett. That's incomplete. He was trying to hit Arrington in full stride going toward the end zone. Lands incomplete.
Yeah, that was forced by the free safety coming over, Curtis Thomas, number 9. He forced Mallett. See, because of his depth and he's properly located, he forced Mallett to think that he had to gun that ball in. He couldn't loft it and lay it up because Thomas would have gotten there, and that's what good free safeties do. So the true freshman free safety saved a touchdown there by being in the right place at the right time. Nice secondary work.
This is another big third down for Michigan. They're 3 for 7 today. Mallett to Manningham. What a nice spinning catch. Inside the 10, down at the 6.
I got the game plan down now. If we can get our people to show us that route again, here's the game plan for Michigan. If in doubt, throw it up somewhere near Mario, anywhere near him. This one's over the wrong shoulder behind him, so he just pivots and does a 360, comes down with both feet in bounds. You only have to have one in college football. And another wonderful gain down to the 5.
First and goal at the 6. Penalty flags come in. Like a false start on Michigan.
Our offense, number 70. It's a 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
That's the right guard, Jeremy Chula, junior out of Kennesaw, Georgia. One of 4 different players to start at right guard. Michigan has had 5 different line combos this year. That has been something that Lloyd Carr's had to deal with.
Yeah, that's really tough because the O-line of all the areas in football need to be with each other. That's an inexcusable mistake Chula made on the 5-yard line. You just don't do that. Now, 1st and 10 is a lot different.
3rd penalty against Michigan, 24 yards against.
Here comes the blitz.
On first down, play action rolling to his right. Mallett comes back. Incomplete.
Wow.
Some decent coverage in the end zone by Minnesota.
Better than decent. I'll tell you, we'll take another look at this. If we can see the number of white shirts in the area. Cardinal rules. Cardinal rules. Never throw late, deep in the middle of the field. Never throw back across your body. This is just a wish and a prayer here. That's an interception in the making. Had anybody in the white shirt been in the area, it would have been an easy pick. So we see inconsistency from the young Mallett.
Greg Matthews goes in motion. 4 receivers. They flare it out. It's Manningham trying to fight his way toward the end zone, and he's out at the 4. And it's going to bring up 3rd down.
Now, I'll guarantee you, Tim Brewster's over there wondering why hasn't this defense played like this all year?
That was the veteran Dominique Barber on the tackle, and I'm not exactly sure what Brewster's upset about.
Well, there was a little pushing and shoving over there between a couple of the players. The Michigan player seemed to retaliate, and Brewster wants a flag. This is the first big play in this game.
Under 3 minutes to go before half. Michigan looking for their first touchdown of the day. It's been a tough day for Mallett. To the end zone. Trying to hit Manningham. Penalty flag comes in. Ryan Collado.
Normally we would say we're picking on the rookie, but there's so many rookies back there you can just take your choice. It's a smorgasbord.
By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line with an automatic first down.
Now that's very good news for Jeremy Chula, if you'll recall, number 70, who got the 5-yard penalty. The throw is okay, not great. If it had been out in front, Manningham probably would have caught the ball. If I'm Collado, I think I might just do that because he's going to take the ball away from me anyhow.
Miner is the lone back. He has not got a rushing touchdown this year until now. Michigan's first touchdown of the day, and it's 12-10 Wolverines. First rushing touchdown of the year for Miner. It's not like Mallett marched him right down. They got some breaks along the way, but it's the touchdown they've been looking for. Lapata on for the extra point, and it's good. 13-10 Michigan, a 9-play, 68-yard drive.
They did get a couple of breaks, and they had some excellent running and balance by Miner, who should have been tackled in the backfield by Curtis Thomas. Well, I thought that was number 9 Thomas, but that was Hightower, the middle linebacker, and all Hightower had to do was to keep his feet. He was unblocked, clean, 5 yards in the backfield. You got to make that play. Dion Hightower, the junior from Arlington, Texas.
And just before halftime, what can that do for a team?
Well, what it does for Michigan right now, it puts them in the lead, and it means that the offense has actually shown some signs of life. The defense has been outstanding against the outstanding offense of Minnesota.
Lloyd Carr breathing a little bit easier now on that Michigan sideline. Tim Brewster. His Gophers are down for the first time today. It's Brian Wright. Harold Howell and Marcus Sherrill's back. Another short kick. This is Howell to the 35.
He can fly.
Coming back, falls over his own feet at the 39-yard line.
As soon as I said he can fly, the kid fell down, and there's not even a turf monster out there. That's regular grass.
All right, let's go to Reese Davis for a preview of the Capital One halftime report. Reese.
All right, guys, Mark and Lou will be here. They've been poring over the results all day. Kentucky did a big-time face plant against Mississippi State. We're keeping a close eye on Oregon and USC, more defensive than you might have thought. And Lou's going to let you take a little sip from the jug. Figuratively speaking, of course. We want to make sure that we have all of our faculties ready for halftime. We'll see you in just a little bit.
Adam Weber had his pass blocked at the line by Tim Jamison. Just batted it down, and again, all the momentum has shifted to Michigan.
This is a nice job by Jamison, who just engaged in a block. Defensive linemen practice this stuff. He's got a guy right in his chest, and he's got the presence of mind to get that big left paw.
Jamison leads the Michigan front four in tackling. Also has 5.5 sacks. Weber in trouble here. Got it away and almost had it picked off in the secondary. It was Jamison again breathing down Weber's neck.
And Weber with the responsibility to not only recognize coverage, but to see the variations, is getting a lesson from Ron English and his outstanding secondary. They are giving him one look and then morphing to another and then yet another when the ball is snapped. And he's not really sure where to go with the football.
And this Michigan defense has really picked it up. Bennett in the backfield with Weber, wants to throw. Pocket collapses, gets away. Spins at the 42, made something out of nothing. But again, that pressure, that front four from Michigan has really amped it up.
Well, that was more than the front four. What happens when you send a blitz, and that was a zone blitz. And they brought the linebacker, Eze, off the side. Crable drops as in a zone blitz from a defensive end position, and it is a screwy looking coverage. It does not look like a normal coverage to the young quarterback, so he tucks the ball and is forced to run. Nice job by Ron English and his defensive coaches of getting together a package of hard to recognize variations.
Third punt today for Justin Kusick. Fair catch by Matthews at the 15. Let's revisit our Aflac trivia question for the day. 4 true freshmen have started at quarterback for Michigan besides Ryan Mallett.
No, 3.
What did I say? 4? 4 true freshmen have started at quarterback for Michigan besides Ryan Mallett. Name the other 3. Thank you for correcting me. Do you know? Now it's your time to shine here.
I'll give you 1. Rick Leach.
You're right, and
Rich Hewitt
was also on that list.
And guess who? Chad Henne, who was outstanding as a true freshman. And that is really hard to do in the Big Ten, as Adam Weber is learning with these varied Michigan defenses.
Here's Miner, who just scored that touchdown moments ago, out over the 20. Pulled down by his jersey at the 24-yard line. John Hazy and Willie Vandestieg also in on the stop.
And you're not going to see Michigan go into a 2-minute offense. You can hear the ooh and the disappointment from the crowd when they did not go to no huddle. I feel sure they don't believe Mallett's quite ready for that.
On 2nd down and 1. Miner's got enough for the first down. Michigan, its first 4 possessions, 2 punts and 2 fumbles. The last 3, a couple of field goals and a touchdown. So even though they're not moving the football the way they'd like to, they've done some things offensively that have turned this game in their favor.
Yeah, they've done some things. I think you said it exactly right. Mainly Manningham has made some great catches, and there have been a couple of decent runs, but the offensive line of Michigan is not dominating this Minnesota front.
Little draw. Mallett lost it again. Still loose. Michigan has recovered at the 10. And there are 100,000 people in this building that just said, holy cow, what's going on?
Like I said, Mallett not really ready for this prime time environment. He's careless with the football. Here again, Onwuachi gets loose. He gets off Schilling. It's a nice pass rush, but you don't give up the football just with a hit like that. And Michigan is very, very fortunate that Minnesota is not down here with the football about ready to punch in a touchdown.
Derek Onwuachi has been battling an ankle injury, the sophomore out of Newhall, California. 6'5", 250. You'd never know that ankle's been bothering him.
No, he really had a nice push and did a good job. Just beat Stephen Schilling, who's been the versatility guy. Now they're just going to let it run out.
Mallett takes a knee, and that's going to do it for the first half. Michigan's going to go into the locker room with the lead, but boy, A lot of questions in that first half.
Deep, deep concern about the poise and the capacity to take care of the football by their young freshman quarterback, Ryan Mallett.
So Michigan 13, Minnesota 10 at the half. Let's go to Reese Davis in the studio with the Capital One halftime report.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. No Chad Henne, no Michael Hart in Michigan, and a little bit of a fight with the Minnesota team that has struggled for most of the year. The guys are alongside. We're going to get you up to date on everything going on around the country. USC and Oregon in a defensive struggle right now. Highlights galore. Already had a big-time upset. And down in Jacksonville, I mean Georgia and Florida testing. And it was testing from the beginning. Flags flying, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties everywhere. And, oh, yeah, it's a shootout.
A.J. Jump.
Half, not nearly on their average, but more than USC typically gives up in an entire game. Mark Sanchez, Mayday to Joe McKnight.
And Joe McKnight, this is the look of the future rushing attack for USC. Joe McKnight with his speed, he's a multi-talented running back, but Reese, one of those offensive linemen. Some of those smartest guys on the field got caught for holding.
Holding penalty the 42, and Carroll had to settle for a field goal. It's 10-3 in the third quarter. Mark Sanchez in there for John David Booty. They say not quite healthy enough yet. Patrick Turner, a spectacular grab. Might have expected more offense in this game, but it's 10-10 about halfway through the third, Dawson Stadium. Georgia and Florida. Gators have won 15 of the last 17 between these two. Dogs probably tired of hearing about it. No Sean Marino up and over the top. Lou, the entire team comes on the field to celebrate for the Dogs.
Well,
yes.
They have been intimidated. They've been beaten like 14 of the last 15 years in this game. I think with the open date mark, Rick had the team ready, and they're just emotional, but it's still lack of discipline.
Maybe a little gamesmanship there because Rick, unlike his reaction post-Vanderbilt when he knocked his players off the logo, didn't seem to be upset there. Tim Tebow finds Lewis Murphy, 40 yards. We're tied at 7. Matthew Stafford, this is his first attempt of the game. That's a good one. 84 yards to Mohamed Massaquoi.
And a perfect pass to a timing pattern to Mohamed Massaquoi. Didn't have to break squad. It's a touchdown. It's over.
And as good as that pass was, this will rank among the worst decisions and worst passes in the history of Southeastern Conference football. Stafford at this point has thrown 2 passes. Both of them have gone for touchdowns, one for Georgia, one for Florida, as Wandy Pierre-Louis takes it back in for the touchdown for the Gators to tie it at 14. And then 17-14. You better get to know Noshawn. Noshawn Moreno crashing through Gators, and at the break, the Dogs trying to end the Hex after that week off that Lou mentioned, and Georgia has the 4-point lead at the break. West Virginia and Rutgers. Oh, how about the Mountaineers sneaking around that national title picture? Rutgers in the all-black unis had Steve Slayton cut off for a while, but not for long.
Steve Slayton with the speed and the agility and the vision right here. And it's even bad weather. It's a wet field, but he'll still take it in for the score, 38 yards, West Virginia.
Turned out to be his third 3-touchdown game of the season. Ball goes on the ground after Pat White goes in. They looked at this. He clearly fumbled before he crossed the plane, but he also recovered the fumble in the end zone. Touchdown upheld 31-3. That's an impressive performance for Rodriguez's team. South Florida on the road at UConn. If you haven't paid attention, UConn is your Big East leader. They are undefeated in conference play. Tyler Lorenzen finds Steve Browse. UConn missed the extra point. It's 9-0. Then Matt Grothe gets picked off by Scott Lutris.
I think that Connecticut's defense is vastly underrated. They are so good fundamentally. They're physical. They make things happen. Just like this, pick 6.
Lutris has been one of the leaders on that defense, too. Had an outstanding game against Louisville, and the Growhawk not getting anything done in East Hartford. 16-0. UConn's already bowl eligible. They're trying to win the Big East. Colorado and Texas Tech. Graham Harrell and the Red Raiders, I mean, they got slapped around by Missouri last week. And Terrence Wheatley, guys, I think Terrence Wheatley wants a helmet sticker on college football finals.
I think Terrence Wheatley may have earned a helmet sticker.
Well, I don't know if 3 interceptions in one game will do it.
It might. It might. How about the nation's leading tackler, Jordan Dizon of Colorado? Pick 6. You know what? They beat Texas Tech. The Buffaloes did 30-6 last year. They went 6 quarters and didn't give up a touchdown to Leach's offense. They had to hang on at the end. but 31-26, and Texas Tech has been exposed as a non-contender in the Big 12, as if Missouri didn't do that a week ago. So what you see right now, as things kind of start to take shape, we had a couple of upsets on this day. West Virginia lying there quietly, trying to get into the national championship game.
After their loss to South Florida, everybody threw dirt on this team, thought that they were dead. You talk about this team, you talk about Pat White, you talk about Steve Slayton on offense. Let's give some credit to the defense. Defensive coordinator Jeff Casil's done a magnificent job with this defense. They're ranked in almost every statistical category in the top 20, but today they were outstanding against Rutgers, forcing 4 turnovers in this game on the road in bad weather conditions and holding Rutgers to 3 points. Yes, Ray Rice got his yards in this game, but they held Rutgers on the road to 3 points. Look out, West Virginia's back.
Bunch of dropped passes kept Rutgers from really having an opportunity. And now, as you look at West Virginia still lying down the line for UConn, but you've been impressed with the Huskies a little.
Oh, I think UConn. Let's remember this. Everybody talks about South Florida going to Division 1A in the year 2000. That's the same year that the University of Connecticut did it. They had a bad year last year, but their defense is for real. They play together, they play physical, they run the ball hard. I think Coach Etzel's done a tremendous job with them. And let's realize this. They've had one loss, and that was by 1 point to University of Virginia, which is leading the ACC.
At Virginia,
let me see.
UConn,
Temple.
UCLA.
How about
well,
Temple? They almost lost to Temple. They should have
Unbelievable.
lost to Louisville. If the Big East officiating was up to par, they'd have 3 losses.
I'm not going to go with you on the Louisville thing. There were a lot of other opportunities there, although that was a bad
They're
call.
just so crazy. Every week it's just different team.
Really?
Every week.
Different team?
Every
week?
Every week.
Except Notre Dame.
Well, Michigan's been a pretty consistent team after the first 2 weeks of the season. Brandon Minor going in, the Wolverines up by 3. Back on the Capital One halftime report. Check out a couple of games going on at the moment. Missouri and Iowa State. Missouri holding on to a 14-point lead. Nebraska, different team every week. Children of the court wondering where this team has been. This may be the Huskers' last stand. They're making the most of it. Up by 7. Some watching that on ABC in Austin. And Buffalo, the reason those two scores bracketed together, Turner Gill, the head coach at Buffalo, thought by some, if Bill Callahan is indeed done at Nebraska after this year, that Gill might be a candidate. He ought to be coach of the year for winning 4 games at Buffalo. Good night.
One in the league.
That's remarkable. He might have a chance to play in the championship game in the Mid-American Conference. Mississippi State and Kentucky, the Cats have been a darling story of the season all year. 3rd and goal. Wes Carroll, that's his 2nd touchdown pass of the game. That doubled his career output for the worst passing offense in the SEC. Then Tim Mastey takes a high snap, gets stripped. It led to a Bulldog touchdown. And tell you what, the Cats were getting spanked 24-14. Andre Woodson looking for Steve Johnson. The Bulldog defense swarming made Keith Fitzhugh the pick.
And they were outstanding the entire day long. If you look at this game, the bottom line is Mississippi State won in all facets: offense, defense, and special teams.
Woodson and Monsell Allen. I think that was just supposed to be a play fake, Lou, and they put the ball on the ground.
Well, it was 4th and 2. You can't do it anytime, but particularly not on 4th and 2.
Still 24-14 when Woodson hits Jacob Tamme, and Tamme put it on the ground. Kentucky turned the football over 6 times. 3 Woodson interceptions, 3 fumbles, and Sly Plume was at 31-14. First road win over a ranked team in 10 years for Mississippi State. Clemson backing up James Davis's guarantee of victory. They are spanking Maryland in the house formerly known as the Snake Pit. And North Carolina State, you mentioned Virginia, 7-3. NC State has the lead. Virginia, the Cavaliers, with no losses in the ACC thus far. That game is on ESPN-U. Dominique Barber sneaking in for the Gophers and scooping up a fumble, and Minnesota hanging tough, down just by 3 as they battle for the Little Brown Jug. Michigan and Minnesota at the break. The freshman Ryan Mallett in there for the injured Chad Henne. Always a good idea to throw it toward Manningham. 13-10, Wolverines have the lead at the break. Last time Minnesota came to the Big House, Gophers sprinted across the field and got that little brown jug. Lloyd Carr called that feeling miserable. This trophy carries a great deal of meaning to both of these teams.
Well, it does. I coached in the little brown jug, and so you have to understand, it was 19-3. Michigan had won 28 straight games. They traveling up to Minneapolis to play Minnesota, which was 10-0. Fielding Yost, the coach of Michigan, thought, well, Minnesota won't provide us with fresh water. So he sent his manager, Tommy Roberts, out to buy a jug. The Michigan's ahead 6-0. 2 minutes to go in the game. Minnesota ties it up. The fans are so excited they rush to the field. The officials call the game, declare it a 6-6 tie. Michigan has to rush to catch a train back to Chicago. They forget the jug. They called Minnesota and said, send the jug back. And Minnesota said, you want the jug, you got to come up here and win it. 19-3, first trophy ever played for by both teams, and that's the history of the little brown jug.
Now, Lloyd Carr said, you know, it's the oldest trophy in college football. It belongs here. He said, I mean, we bought it, and they did buy back in the day. Just keep biting your tongue. Bite your tongue. Don't do it. I know you want to. Be nice.
What they done?
Play nice. The Capital One halftime report.
What was you gonna say? Huh?
Back on the Capital One halftime report, taking a look at some of the games in the Big Ten. Boy, Iowa looked like they were done. They beat Michigan State in double overtime as the bottom's falling out on Sparty. 34-27. Albert Young went for $179, 2 touchdowns. Illinois becomes bowl eligible.
Yeah, it's a nice job by Illinois, but what I'm impressed with is Wisconsin. Is this the Wisconsin we've been waiting to see the entire season?
Maybe so. I mean, held Indiana to 3 points. Indiana's been a good offensive team, and Purdue beats Northwestern, stopping the Wildcats' hot streak 35-17. Winning that one by 18, adding an touchdown at the end. And of course, the headliner in the Big Ten comes tonight on ABC, Ohio State and Penn State. What are you looking for in that game, Mark?
If Penn State's offense with Anthony Morelli can score against this Ohio State defense, they only give up 7.9 points a game.
How about you, Lou?
Well, I think a quarterback's always the key question, but Penn State has a great defense as well. And playing Penn State at home is very difficult. That's the last time Ohio State lost a Big Ten conference game was when they lost to Penn State in Paternoville.
That's right, 26 consecutive regular season wins for the Buckeyes. Last loss was indeed to Penn State. Back to the Big House for the second half.
Michigan 13, Minnesota 10, just ready to start the second half. Now, to vote for a Pontiac game-changing performance, log on to ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac, and here's our Pontiac game-changing performance. This is Dominique Barber, Minnesota strong safety, a 46-yard fumble return for a touchdown in that first half. That's really the biggest play of the game for Minnesota. They do not have an offensive touchdown.
The Michigan defense has been the story of this game. They've taken the outstanding Minnesota offense that has been thriving all year and scoring points and making yards on everybody, and they've basically shut them down.
Take a look at those first half stats and the passing yards. It's been a real tough day for Adam Weber, the redshirt freshman quarterback for Minnesota. He is 3 for 13 so far through the air.
The Minnesota offense averages 438 yards per game. And so far today, they've had a grand total of 124 and 40 of them in the passing game. Weber's been confused by the variety of defensive deployment of Michigan.
Now the ball is knocked off the tee. There is a little bit of wind whipping through Michigan Stadium. There was rain before the start of this game.
Son, look up there at those flags.
Yeah,
that's not a little bit of wind. He's going to kick this ball in the stands. Watch him. See there?
This is Brown to take it at the 5. And out over the 30-yard line, Michigan will have it to start. Now, in the first half, Ryan Mallett, 9 for 16, 145 yards. He was helped by a couple of great catches from Arrington and Manningham.
Yeah, like I said at the time, the best offense for Michigan so far is to find out where Mario's lined up and throw it up in the air in his vicinity. I mean, really, he has just made career-type catches, but he does that all the time. He's a great player.
Had a little trouble holding on to the football in the first half. And a run here on the first play of the second half. It's Minor. Minor had 69 yards on the ground in that first half on 12 carries, plus his first rushing touchdown of the year. He's going to get 4 yards on that carry. Second down at 6 coming.
Now, I raved about the Michigan defense, but another big story in this game is the Minnesota defense. This much maligned unit has been aggressive. They've tackled well. They've given up very few plays unless Manningham made big catches on them.
Minor again coming over the left tackle. Slips a tackle out over the 40 and down at the 44 before Curtis Thomas, the free safety. Another true freshman, as we talked about. There are 3 starting in the secondary for Minnesota. He made the tackle, but not before the first down. And good start for Michigan here to start the second half.
Nice cut by Minor. Excellent job of blocking the entire left side of the line with Bourne and Long and Krause at center.
Brown goes down, shooting through Deion Hightower, the middle linebacker, making the sack.
And that's exactly what Hightower had a chance to do on the touchdown run in the first half. This time he kept his feet, did a nice job of staying up, got into Brown, a good form tackle.
So second down at 13, a loss of 3 actually on that run. Send a man in motion. That is the tight end Martell Webb. Throw it out. Pass is high and was intended for Manningham. And we have not seen Mallett real composed here today.
Well, take a look at his body language. If we can get it, if we can get a look at Mallett, what happens after he makes this throw. This is not a real difficult throw. It's not an easy throw, but neither is it a real sophisticated throw. And he's tried it 2 or 3 times today without success. And he just drops his head dejectedly. And the quarterbacks can't afford to do that.
Mallett was 2 for 6, 16 yards and 1 interception in that game against Illinois in limited time, filling in for Henne. It's all his today. Takes a hard hit at the 45, tried to slide, couldn't get down all the way, and Deion Hightower made him pay the price.
You know what, though? I think Hightower collided with a couple of his own guys, and I think Mallett sort of got under it. Now, I may be wrong about that, but it looked to me like one of those deals where you get up and say, man, why'd you hit me? I'm on your side. Watch it. Now, his head was in between. Like a ball-peen hammer. That doesn't feel good.
Eric Decker calls for the fair catch. And that was a fair catch signal. At the 21-yard line, that's
you
what
have to
Minnesota
watch those things now, don't you?
I know you do. Just ask the people in Louisville. We're back after this.
HD? HD.
Minnesota coach Tim Brewster firing up his team on the sidelines after that defensive stand. Michigan forced to punt again. He spent 13 years under Mack Brown at North Carolina and Texas. He knows how to inspire his guys, and there's an inspiring run for the Golden Gophers. Out to the 41-yard line, it was DeJuan Bennett.
Now, Clay, Minnesota has run the ball 10 times on first down. 7 of those they have made first downs in that sequence. They've thrown the ball 6 times on first down, and only twice have they earned a first down. They're doing much better running the football, obviously.
They're going to run it again. Right into the teeth of that Michigan defense. Not much there for DeJuan Bennett. Brewster took over that job that Glenn Mason left. He was fired after that devastating bowl loss last year where Minnesota had a huge lead and blew it. Brewster comes in, and this is his resume. We talked about his experiences under Mack Brown, and he feels that's the kind of stuff that has led him here. He really admires what Mack Brown has done in his career, and he's learned a lot from him. Ball is loose. Weber recovers. I don't know if Weber...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't know if Weber wanted to hand off or if it was a play action type thing.
That's the risk of the read offense. This is a read play. He's looking at the defensive end, and he either puts the ball in the back stomach and leaves it, or he pulls it. And sometimes there's confusion between the two. If the back clamps over it and the quarterback is intending to pull it, that's when it goes on the ground.
Now this is where Minnesota has struggled today on third down. They have not converted yet. They're 0 for 6. Here's 3rd and 14. Crowd getting into it. Weber. Deep down the middle of the field. Nobody home for the Golden Gophers. The closest receiver there was Eric Decker.
This is not typical of what Michigan's been doing. You can see the entire field. They're lined up in a ordinary old 2-deep defense. They've got man on one side with zone on the other, so it's a combo coverage, and there was just nobody open.
Matthews has some room to operate. He'll try and bring it back, but it quickly closes in on him. And Michigan will have it 1st down and 10 at the 21. Marcus Sherrill's the first one down there to make that tackle for Minnesota.
Good special teams play by Minnesota today, and I joked about that kickoff with the win a while ago, and they pop it up to the 5-yard line instead of kicking in the back of the end zone, and got down there and made the tackle. And then again, Sherrill's there on it.
Receiving team number 34. The ball penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. 1st down.
That's going to go against Michigan. And we're going to take a break. 11:02 to go. 3rd quarter.
Only. This presentation of college football brought to you by IBM. What makes you special? DLP HD TV. DLP is the official ESPN on ABC HD telecast sponsor of college football. And the Nissan Titan, proud presenter of the 2007 Heisman Trophy. To cast your vote, go to theheismanvote.com.
Big run here for Minor. Brandon Minor into Minnesota territory, finally tracked down at the 43-yard line. A 48-yard run for the Michigan tailback. Don Barber and Ryan Collado finally brought him down.
And as we said during the last series, this is the strategy Michigan should employ. It's very obvious. You don't have to be a brain surgeon or a football coach to see it. They need to keep hammering away at the soft underbelly of the Minnesota run defense.
Well, we've seen a lot more of Brandon Minor here in this game than we probably anticipated. It was Carlos Brown who got the start, but Brandon Minor has been the workhorse here today for Michigan.
Yeah, Brandon Minor has shown a burst and a kind of speed that you would expect from Michigan backs. And another thing that Michigan wants to do as it goes through this process, because of the way they finished last year and the way they began this year, is to reestablish what Michigan football stands for. And this is a big part of it. Knocking people off the ball and running it down their throat.
Mike Hart, the nation's 3rd leading rusher on the sidelines today. He's got a high ankle sprain. Don Barber in on the stop of Minor again. And those high ankle sprains, those are a pain. Those literally and figuratively, they take a long time to heal.
Yeah, a guy as tough as Mike Hart, you know that it's painful. He'd be out there. The guy has played through injuries again and again. And the kind of pounding that a great back like that takes is really indescribable. The rest of us don't understand it.
Here's your 3rd and 8 for Michigan. Ball at the 41 of Minnesota. On a cloudy, cool day here in Ann Arbor. Michigan has the lead, but right now a little closer for comfort than they'd like. That pass incomplete. And we're hearing a smattering of boos from the fans here at the Big House.
And again, if you're going to be a great quarterback, you have to believe that you're a great quarterback before the fact. You can't be downtrodden every time you make a bad throw. Now, we don't have Mallet after the throws, but he leans over, hangs his head, and makes a big deal out of the fact that he made another bad throw. He should act like it's just never going to happen again.
He's 1 for his last 4 throwing the football. Calling for the fair catch here is Decker. He's going to go over his head into the end zone. And Minnesota, like they have so many times before, will start at their own 20. Well, Minnesota hanging right in there with the number 20 team in the country, 13-10. Adam Weber and that Gophers offense have it next.
So I hear you found a cure for the blood.
Chad Henne has the headset on today. He's in street clothes. He's talking with Ryan Mallett, the true freshman quarterback. It's been a tough day for Mallett. Henne, kind of a shoulder to lean on today, but that's about all he can be. He can't come into the game. He's out with that shoulder injury. DeJuan Bennett and this Minnesota offense going back to work. Bennett out to the 25-yard line, a pickup of 5 on first down. Minnesota in the first quarter, 102 yards of offense. Since then, 38 yards. Minnesota's got to get something going offensively if they want to keep this hope of an upset going here, because they've really fizzled the last 5 possessions.
They run the ball much better than they throw it today, and that's a surprise to me.
Weber, good numbers throwing the football coming into this game. Hasn't thrown it effectively today. Low snap. Looks like he picked up the first down with his feet. The coaches have been impressed with Weber's composure here this year.
Well, he's shown composure. He has not been rattled. He's just been confused. What he's done when he gets back there and he doesn't get what he thinks he's going to get on the throwing game is that he's taken his lumps and he's taken the sack, or he's gotten rid of the ball. When he runs with the ball, he is the second best runner on this team in terms of yardage produced.
1st and 10 at the 33. Bennett takes a lick. He was airborne, and Chris Graham took him right down.
Yeah, Chris Graham has been a real factor today. He's been all over the field. 5'11", 225 linebacker. Has a forced fumble. Loves to tackle people when they're jumping over piles. All linebackers love that.
It's kind of like the hit we saw Steve Davis throw for Minnesota back in the first half.
Had a really good game against Illinois last week. Continuing today.
2nd down and 8, 4 receivers set for the Gophers. This is their second series offensively. Thrown out, caught by Wheelwright. He's got enough for the first down, and he's tripped up at the 45 by Engelman.
Engelman, the leading tackler on this football team, is a free safety. Kind of ducked his head, and I think he was a little bit lucky to make this play in the open field, because this thing could have gone the distance had he missed it. Excellent blocking out front that time. Beautiful job by the left guard, Jeff Arnett.
Minnesota moving the football, 1st and 10. Another low snap. Ball is loose. Weber does recover. That is the second time on this series we've seen the snap low. This time almost turned it over.
The gun snap is not a complicated thing. It's something that you just have to get down so that never, ever happens with a veteran player like Tony Brinkhouse. There's no excuse for the ball to go low. That is simply a lack of concentration. He's thinking about his block rather than getting the ball up. That's why a nose guard on a gun snap and center is a good idea.
Brinkhouse, a 5th-year senior out of Bloomington. That time the snap right on. Weber knocked down. It's going to be a loss on the play. Terrence Taylor, who's been a constant in the middle for a couple of seasons. Today is 11th straight start at nose tackle, able to knock down Weber. It's going to bring up 3rd and very long. Crowd coming to its feet. The 207th straight crowd of 100,000 or more here at the Big House. Another low snap. Weber has a receiver. It is overthrown. It looked like Trey Herndon was the receiver he was trying to hook up with. And that was a poorly thrown pass, and Minnesota will have to punt. After a couple of first downs, the drive stalls.
Michigan back to its old ways of the first half. Watch them moving up and back. You cannot tell if this is going to be a 2 deep, a 3 deep, or just what. It ends up being a man-free, man-to-man coverage with a free safety. But again, Weber having a very difficult time making his reads.
Defensive coordinator Ron English, now in the 5th year with the program here at Michigan, has done a great job with that defensive unit for the Wolverines. This is his 2nd year as defensive coordinator. He's 39 years old, and his defense has kept Michigan in this football game, and now they actually have the lead. There's Coach English on the sideline now. Well, tonight, the Buckeyes trying to stay unbeaten and ranked #1 in the BCS as they head into the whiteout game in Happy Valley for a meeting with the Nittany Lions. Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines at 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC. College football lives here. Now let's take a look at our ESPNU All-State Standings review. There you see the Buckeyes perched on top. The last time at Ohio State went into Penn State. They got beat in Happy Valley. Another run for Brandon Meyer. That's the last time that Ohio State lost a regular season game. That was at Penn State. Should be a good one here tonight. And you know,
any game in Penn State is a great game, and when it's Ohio State, it's even more great. I mean, it's just something you really would like to watch.
It's coming up tonight on ABC. It looked like there was some movement on the left side, and yeah, they're going to blow the play dead.
Yeah, Minnesota doing a little bit of its own stemming now.
All right,
when I say
offense number 62. The 5-yard penalty remains 2nd down.
Stephen Schilling getting a little antsy over there. Minnesota coming up and back. Everett Withers showing that his team can stem as well. They lined up in a basic 4-3, and when they moved, they brought the safety up, and it was essentially a gap 8 defense, and you didn't have enough blockers. And to add insult to injury, Schilling moved early.
They're going to run on 2nd and 7, and Minor tripped up. Might have got back to the original line of scrimmage. But the Gopher defense at times has really looked good today.
Yeah, this defense has just been ripped all year long, and especially last week. North Dakota State embarrassed them, running the ball down their throat, and Michigan has been sporadic and has had some long runs and has had some nice drives, but they haven't been able to sustain enough to put points on the board on a consistent basis. This is a hard-fought defensive struggle, believe it or not.
3rd and 6 with Minor to the left of the quarterback, Ryan Mallett. Now he's going to come up and check at the line. Mallett wants to throw. Going deep down the right side. Manningham again. Steps out at the 23-yard line. He just made Ryan Collado look foolish back there. And Manningham with his 2nd big play of the day.
Well, the way Collado played, and I remind you that he's a true freshman, but by golly, so is Mallett. The young quarterback does a nice job of reading a combination of coverages that were attempts to confuse, but Collado thought he had deep help, and the safety simply did not get there. He's expecting the safety to come off the hash and get to that kind of throw.
4 catches now for 122 yards for Manningham. Carlos Brown back into the game after a spell on the sidelines. Good run here. Inside the 10, dives down inside the 5. And Carlos Brown, who'd been quiet for a good part of that 2nd quarter, now being heard from here in the 3rd.
These are the plays that drive defensive coordinators and head coaches crazy. The call by the defensive coordinator was perfect. He had 4 tacklers in position, 2 of whom were not blocked at all, and Brown ran right by them and through them. Just great running by Brown.
18-yard run for Brown. Coming off his first career 100-yard game last week at Illinois. It is Brown again. Making his way into the end zone. Touchdown. Third rushing touchdown of the year for Carlos Brown.
Gee, Coach Carr looks happy, doesn't he? Come on, Lloyd, you just scored, buddy. He knows he's in a football game. I think he knew that this was going to be a tough game all along. Jake Long just proven himself again and again. The capacity to sustain a block by an O-lineman makes it look easy.
This is Casey Lapata out of the hold of Zoltan Mesko. And it's 20-10 Michigan. How about the throw by Mallett to Manningham?
Well, Mallett is going to be a great quarterback. I'm telling you, the guy's a true freshman. And yes, he's struggling with us. There's so much going through his mind. He didn't even have the redshirt year to assimilate the offense. So, I mean, he's doing a marvelous job under the circumstances. And the great throw down the sideline is the kind of thing he's capable of, and he's done it several times today.
Well, he's got 193 yards now through the air on 10 of 19 passing. There have been some times when Mallett has looked like a true freshman, and then other times a very composed veteran.
He has a gifted arm. That's a phrase that quarterback coaches use, a gifted arm. He can just sense where the ball should be thrown. Especially he's marvelous on the deep balls, about as good as I've seen for a true freshman.
Now keep in mind, today just his third career start. And he looked shaky, especially in that first quarter. He's turned it on. This is Harold Howells out over the 30. That's where Minnesota's offense will take over.
IBM presents the 25 greatest players ever. Number 17, Bronco Nagurski. Before becoming one of the monsters of the Midway, Nagurski was an All-American defensive tackle and fullback at Minnesota. The Gophers lost only 4 games during his career and won the 1927 Big Ten Championship. IBM, getting it done.
Little trivia for you, Bill. Where is Bronco Nagurski's hometown?
Minnesota.
Well, that's the state, but the town.
Minnesota's a state?
There's a pass to Decker. And a good pickup on first down, even though they've done a better job running than passing on first down. But Decker is going to pick up 7 there.
I just know that it's the place that's usually the coldest place in the country.
That's right, the icebox of the nation.
That's
International Falls, Minnesota is where Bronco was from.
I know a great Bronco Nagurski story that may be apocryphal, but it's fun to tell. So if we get a shot, we'll tell it.
Second down and 3. Bennett in the backfield next to Weber. And he'll take it from Weber. Looking for room on that left edge. Can't find it. He's strung out to the sideline. Maybe a yard gain. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 2.
Well, when you played in Wrigley Field, which is where the Bears used to play, it was just all mud and slop and wet and cold. And plus, there's a brick wall. The left field fence was the end of the end zone. And the end zone's supposed to be 10 yards, but it's just 9. And Nagurski came back with a broken nose, and he told Hallis that he had scored a touchdown and drilled that wall. He said the 10 of those guys weren't very good, but that last tackler was the toughest guy I ever played against, Coach.
Bronco is as tough as nails, no doubt.
So is that wall.
3rd down and 2. Weber goes down.
More confusion and more noise in the big house.
Brandon Graham on the sack. He leads the team now with 8 sacks on the year.
Now, this is a guy that has been very accurate, especially for a redshirt freshman, and he does not know where to go with this football. The coverages have morphed and moved and confused him all day long. Great job of coaching by Michigan.
Bill, Minnesota is now 0 for 9 on 3rd down. Greg Matthews doing a little dance on that far sideline, finally taken out. But Minnesota's offense has done basically nothing since the first quarter.
This is an offense that has thrown the football for 258 yards a game. This is a sophisticated offense that should be prepared for anything. But when you can't tell what the deployment is, you can't tell what the coverage is going to be, and it changes as you snap the ball, and then it changes again. That is polished, and that's too much for the freshman at this time, at least so far today.
Meanwhile, as Minnesota's offense has struggled, that has given Michigan some time to figure things out today. And And Ryan Mallett has taken advantage of it. The running game is really looking good right now. There's another long run from Brandon Minor out to midfield, finally tracked down by Neil Allen, but a gain of 18.
Well, let me tell you what they figured out. They figured out that Jake Long is really good.
They figured it out just now?
We're going to run behind him, and he blocks not one but two this time. He bounces one out, steps back in, and shields the middle linebacker, and there's nobody home. So we run for a long way. And they just decided, let's go out and run it behind Jake every play. Here we go again.
The best lineman that's ever played here at Michigan.
Wow. Now that is a powerful statement to be able to say.
There have been some good ones. Some real good ones. And Jake Long, his goal growing up in the state of Michigan, to play for the Michigan Wolverines. He reached that goal, and not only did he come here, but he's done some great things and wants to win a Big Ten title this year.
Well, Lee Campbell, number 30 for Minnesota, has been fighting a war because he's outsized and outmatched, but he won that battle. He actually got a nice stalemate and forced it back inside. We have to give him some credit, too.
That's going to do it for the third quarter. Now, the Michigan Wolverines started out the season 0-2. It took them some time to get things straightened out. It has taken them some time to get things straightened out in this game, but they lead now by 10 going into the fourth quarter. We're back at the Big House after this timeout.
Nissan engineers know the backbone of any truck is its frame. That's why the Nissan Titan's frame is fully boxed. Unlike competitors' C frames that are prone to flexing, our box frame is the strongest truck frame we've ever built. Just one more reason, it's the Titan of trucks.
The champs against the Mavs, then the Sonics.
Welcome to Ann Arbor at ESPN College Football presented by Best Buy. We're ready to start the fourth quarter. Michigan on top 20-10. Ryan Mallett and that Michigan offense has settled down a little bit. They've got the football here to start the quarter.
Well, I really think Mallett is nervous. And I think it takes him a while in the game to get going. And as he gets his poise down and his throws, he just has that capacity for uncanny accuracy, especially on the tough throws like fades and seams. And he's made some beautiful throws that have given them these nice drives.
Mario Manningham has been his favorite target today. Big game for Manningham. Here is Carlos Brown back in the football game. Gets a 9-yard carry on first down. Dion Hightower made the stop. Manningham on a hot streak. 8 career 100-yard receiving games, including 3 of the last 4 games coming into this one. The big reason that the coaches say he has really caught fire is his legs are at 100%. He didn't think that they were earlier in the year. There's Brown again. Looks like he spun forward enough for the first down. Here's a look at what Manningham has done today.
You take a look at where these balls are thrown, and either Manningham is going to catch them or nobody's going to catch them. He's not risking with the deep ball, and they are beautiful throws. Even that one you might question, well, should it have been thrown inside so he could run for a touchdown? No, because there was a safety coming from the hash, and if you throw it inside, it'll be picked. So every one of those throws were beautifully executed. And in terms of the momentum of this game, and you noticed it first, Clay, you said it to me, and I didn't pick up on it, but it changed. The first 8 minutes and 30 seconds, Minnesota had 84 yards, and Michigan had 22. Since then, Minnesota has 80 yards, and Michigan has 365 yards. And you sensed it happening.
Now 4th and inches coming up here for Michigan.
I wonder where they're going to run. Now they're lining up in unbalanced, or at least they did on the last play, just announcing where they're going over there behind number 77. It might be a good idea to do a little misdirection and come back to the right, but not on 4th and short.
Well, this season, Michigan on 4th down conversion attempts, 33% getting it done. See what they can do here on 4th and inches. Ball at the 41 of Minnesota. Michigan can put some points on the board here to go a long way to salting this game off. And Mallett's going to keep it himself, lunges ahead. Ball apparently popped loose, but it was already blown dead. And Kyle Ferret better be careful. He's going to get a penalty flag thrown. Now there's some hostilities down there.
This is another example of a young player who goes into a pile, and everybody on that team with the white shirts on are ripping at that ball. You have got to have it riveted to your rib cage as if it were welded. You don't let them get those hands in there. And that's hard to do. It's not easy.
So they pick up the first down. At this point, was it a smart move on the part of Michigan to rest Henne and Hart today?
I really think it was a brilliant move, a very important move.
Mallett going deep. Manningham again, wide open, touchdown. They have worn out Ryan Collado.
Bless his heart, he's caught in the middle of that pile of celebration. They didn't mean to do that. That wasn't intentional. He got trapped in there while they were all celebrating over him. That is an NFL quality deep ball. This guy is going to be a menace as a deep passer his entire career.
40-yard touchdown reception for Mario Manningham.
Manningham ought to buy him a steak dinner.
Five catches now for 162 yards.
And when Lopata has an extra point or a short field goal, he gets it up quickly and well.
Well, now there's some breathing room for this crowd of 100,000 plus at the Big House. It's 27-10 Wolverines.
That you are with me.
For the second straight week, Michigan got down by double digits, but they have scored 27 unanswered points and lead it here 27-10, 13:31 to go. And Mario Manningham just caught a 40-yard touchdown catch from Ryan Mallett, who at times has had flashes of brilliance. At other times he's looked like a true freshman. But in his defense, he's got his team on top at the right time. Marcus Sherrill's inside the 5 will bring this back for the Golden Gophers. Kicks it to the outside. Still on his feet out of the 25 and pulled down at the 27-yard line. Here's another look at that touchdown pass. Mallett to Manningham, and those two have developed kind of a chemistry here today.
I really like the play calling by Mike DeBoer. They just went for the first down and barely made it in 4th and short, and you come right up and go deep immediately when the true freshman corner, who's also out there for the first time in this kind of environment, might just freeze at the switch a little.
Adam Weber and this Minnesota offense has been stagnant for the last 2.5 quarters. Here's a little crossing route, a slant that is caught by DeJuan Bennett out of the backfield. It's a nice pickup on first down. Will give him 9. 2nd down and 1 coming up.
It's obvious now that the Minnesota staff has gone to simpler play calls. Mike Dunbar with a call that really doesn't require much reading by Weber. He can just drop it off to the tailback coming off underneath the zone.
A big number that Michigan has put up since the first quarter. 381 of total offense. On 2nd and 1, Bennett again.
Terrence Taylor is just having a marvelous day today. The big man, this is not easy to do, and I hope we captured it. Number 67, defensive tackle for Michigan, plays the center. The guard tries to block down on him. He splits the double team and just comes back off and gets a piece of the tackle. We don't always get these things frozen or on tape for you, but heck of a game by this big man.
Pass incompleted. Weber took a shot as he released the football. Chris Graham got the pressure, the weak side linebacker, and Ron English told us this week, Coach, that Graham is just getting better every single week.
Yeah, when you got seniors that are getting better, that's a very good sign for your team. Graham's not a big guy, but he has been all over the field today. He plays that will backer in the 4-3 scheme. Very often there's not a blocker for him.
This is 2nd down and 10. Pressure again, got it away. Bennett on the screen, picks up about 7 yards on the play before he's pulled down again by Terrence Taylor. Now, you said that when seniors continue to improve from week to week, that's a good sign. Is that because they're not resting on their laurels?
Exactly. Seniors are not satisfied, and they want to keep improving. Here's a beautiful block out here by a big guy, a freshman, Dominic Alford, number 76 for Minnesota. Just had to call his name because he did such an outstanding block to give them a 3rd and short.
Minnesota again on 3rd down, has not converted yet. They're 0 for 9. Little option pitch and a nice hole and a 1st down for Minnesota. DeJuan Bennett picks it up. We haven't seen that play yet for Minnesota, but it works. Adams and Harrison combine on the stop.
Well, we've seen the option a couple of times, but Michigan played it so well the other times that there was nothing there. This time it was well executed. And what happened, Weber took it all the way out to the pitch guy, the guy he was off to pitch. He was supposed to pitch off of, Tim Jamison, and waited till the last instant to make the pitch, and that's the reason that the play worked.
On 1st down, Weber comes to the near sideline, finds Wheelwright, and he's quickly covered up, no gain. In fact, give him a loss of 2 on the play. Let's get back to the senior
back to
leadership.
the senior thing. That's so critical, especially when you start the season with 2 major disappointments. The Appalachian State and Oregon games were major disappointments for the Michigan football program. The seniors are going to go one way or the other. They're either going to sort of cash it in and play out the string, or they're going to fight back and get better every single week. That's what Michigan seniors decided to do.
Long and Henney and Hart called the team meeting after that 0-2 start. Closed door meeting, and it really changed the entire attitude of this team. Weber almost picked off. Double coverage. Weber threw right into the teeth of it, and Engelman almost picked it off.
And there was nothing deceptive about that defense. They lined up in a 2-deep zone. For people who follow professional football, the Tampa Bay Bucks is the Tampa zone. Tony Dungy made it famous, and that safety's going to be there every time you throw it in that vicinity. It really should have been a pick for Engelman.
Almost in his 3rd interception of the year, and you saw the smile of the defensive coordinator, Ron English.
Yeah, Ron liked that, except he would like to have seen the catch.
3rd down and 12. Sack at midfield. Sean Crable came into the game 2nd in the nation in tackles for loss. Gets a sack there at midfield, and Minnesota will have to kick away.
Football, in addition to being field position and all that other stuff that I've talked about, ball security is also a game of mismatches. And you match up Sean Crable on a running back, in this case, Amir Penix, and there's just no way that Penix can handle the big guy. He came like lightning. You'll see him come from the top of your screen. Penix is trying to block him. He just has no chance.
That's his 2nd sack today. Matthews will fair catch at the 15. Now the little brown jug on the line. 9:32 to go until we find out who will have it at the end of this one. Michigan trying to keep it. Michigan has dominated the Little Brown Jug series. This is the 96th meeting between these 2 teams. The Wolverines lead the all-time series 68-24-3. They own the jug right now. They're hoping to keep it. Under 9.5 minutes to go. That run by Carlos Brown, little or no gain there. Over the last 30 years, Michigan has lost just 3 times to Minnesota. 1977. Minnesota upset then #1 Michigan in Minneapolis. The other wins over that span came here at the Big House, 1986 and in 2005. Minnesota had some heartbreaking defeats earlier in this decade, 2003 and 2004, when things were going very well until they ran into Michigan. Kind of took their season right off the tracks. Here's a big run for Brown, and I don't know if anybody's going to catch him. Carlos Brown taking it to the house at the big house. 89-yard touchdown run for Carlos Brown. Things were touch and go for a long time in this game, Bill, but I think that finally blew it open.
Well, Michigan came out and started pounding the ball at the very essence of the weakness of the Minnesota defense, and they started getting results little by little, and then hit them with a couple of deep balls, and now they've taken complete control.
Extra point is good, and it's 34-10 Michigan. 34 points unanswered by the Wolverines. And this big run by Carlos Brown. Brown now 132 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns.
This presentation of college football brought to you by Best Buy. For a complete home theater experience, get HD done right at Best Buy. Jeep, with 7 Jeep vehicles, there's one for you. Verizon Wireless. And Principal Financial Group. We'll give you an edge.
There's a look at Carlos Brown. Just had an 84-yard touchdown run. And they say patience is a virtue. Well, never more true than with that guy. He came to Michigan as one of the most highly touted backs in recent memory, but by the end of last year, he was actually taking snaps at quarterback, dabbling in the secondary. He got frustrated, considered transferring, but decided to stick it out, and everybody in Ann Arbor is glad he did. Big run there that has put this game in control.
He had patience in all the ways that you just mentioned, and he had patience with his blockers. Watch Adam Krause, 57, the center, come off, lock on. Great job there. Also a great job by Tim McAvoy, the guard. And when you had a gaping hole like that and you got that kind of speed, Brown just turned it on, and nobody in the Minnesota secondary could stay with him.
4th rushing touchdown of the year for Carlos Brown. 132 yards today and 2 scores. This is Weber. Takes a pop. Got it over the 25 to the 27-yard line. Good pickup on 1st down.
Weber is a really good-looking football player, not just a good quarterback. Yes, he was absolutely bamboozled by the Michigan defensive coordinator today. That's what football has evolved to. It's my quarterback against your defensive coordinator, and Ron English has won the battle today.
Well, for the first time in 6 years, the Gophers are not going to a bowl game. So now it's about pride and giving some young players experience for 2008 and beyond. Among them is Weber. He's one of 15 freshmen to play for Minnesota this year. And that's the way it's going to be throughout the rest of the schedule for the Golden Gophers. They've got Illinois at home next week, a game at Iowa, and then they finish up at home against Wisconsin. And Tim Brewster is going to be trying to get as many guys good experience, good game experience as possible, so you can look ahead.
Exactly. And a part of the theory of this offense is to force the defense to come to you and to play what you want it to play, and Michigan's done just the opposite today.
First catch for Jack Simmons today, the tight end. Junior out of Libertyville, Illinois. Sean Crable and Donovan Warren combine on the stop.
Jack Simmons is going to graduate in December. Both these teams with a number of players that are already college graduates or about to graduate. Doing a good job in the academic area, which, by the way, is what these institutions are for. I think.
No doubt about it. 3 receivers split to the right. And a little spin move here by DeJuan Bennett.
DeJuan Bennett's going to be a fine player, maybe a real star. If he has the kind of durability so that he can run like this an entire season, he's going to be a big leaguer. because he's got a burst and he's got some power. He has absolutely no fear of the tackle.
He's just a true freshman, so he's got a lot of football ahead of him. Bennett now over 100 yards on the day, 107 in fact on 20 carries.
You would say his future's all ahead of him?
I would. Incomplete. And that's kind of been the story of the day for Adam Weber. We've got a Michigan player down. That is
that's
Brandon Graham, yeah. You know, this was the spot that Lamar Woodley had last year, that defensive end spot, and he's done a nice job taking up the slack. Coaches say he needs just a little bit more consistency. We've certainly seen that today. He's been very good, but right now he's down on his back at the 32-yard line.
Well, you never want to see anybody get hurt. You just have to hope that it's a minor thing. It looks like he's sitting up and he's going to be fine. His coach is talking about his being as talented as Woodley, and I'm quoting Ron English now. This guy could be just like Woodley if he just gets a little more consistent.
Wow, that's saying something.
Oh man, you're not kidding, because Woodley was a world beater.
Well, this game, like we said, Coach, was in doubt for a while. It appears now that Michigan has this one in control, but we've had an upset already in college football. Number 14 Kentucky lost to Mississippi State today. Apparently Andre Woodson had a bad day, threw a few interceptions. Weber got it to Simmons, made the catch at the 46-yard line. Jamar Adams laid a good hit on him, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, this is wonderful by Weber. You got Sean Crable bearing down on him. He looks like a grizzly bear. Looks like he's 8 feet tall, 1,000 pounds, and he just grooves the ball right where he wants it. So this shows this guy's got the presence. He doesn't worry about taking the hit. He steps up, makes a nice throw, good touch. He's going to be a good one too.
3rd and 5, wheel right. It's pretty good in space, had some room there, got it into Michigan territory where he's ridden out at the 45 by Adams and Warren.
Well, Mike Dunbar, I mentioned this a couple of series ago, is going to a kind of an offense that makes for easy reads. They're not sophisticated reads where you have to look at the full field, because Michigan has made that so very difficult today. Little quick screens, little checks to the back, coming out of the backfield. Nice calls to try to get back in this game.
And Wheelwright was one of those guys that always had the greatness tag on him, but never really lived up to the potential. He sure loves this new offense under Dunbar. It's been a tough day, though, for the Minnesota offense, evident by that play. That pass is dropped.
Jamar Adams is trying to figure out how it got through his hands. He is really disappointed with himself. And Jamar, you should be disappointed with yourself. That went right through your hands.
And Ralph Spry, the Gophers' number 4 receiver, actually had a chance to catch that ball after the fact.
Yeah, when they get in the film room, somebody's going to say, that's why you're playing defense, Jamar.
Second down at 10. Weber trying to set Bennett up for the screen, and that just fails. Brandon Harrison was all over it. The nickelback stepping up and made the big hit on Bennett.
We haven't said Brandon Harrison's name very much today, but when you say nickelback, that's not what it used to be. The guy that comes in on 3rd and long and plays 15 or 20 plays a game. So many offenses are spread all over the field now. Brandon Harrison actually starts a lot of games because they play not 3 but 4 linebackers, and he's the 4th linebacker. They take the guy out, so he's really like another linebacker who's in the game all the time against these spread offenses.
And this Michigan secondary has been one of the strengths of its defense this year. Wheelwright is wide open at the 50, makes a move to the 45, still on his feet, to the 40. And he's going to be well short of the first down. He needed to get to the 35, but Brown, Stevie Brown, the backup free safety, and Warren came over to slow him down. It's going to bring up 4th and about 5.
Back to Brandon Harrison. Here he comes from the bottom of your screen. This time he's not dropping, he's blitzing. Football has changed so much. The traditional idea of safeties who kind of hang back there, last line of defense. No, they're all over the place. They play like linebackers now. They blitz a lot. They make tackles. They get down in the box and actually play like a linebacker, and it becomes an 8-man front.
11th play of this series for Minnesota. Quick drop. And the receiver came back to the football. Wheelwright made the catch, but it looks like he's short of the first down.
That's right. And this time they just lined up and played man defense. Morgan Trent on the coverage, and there was no place to go. And coming back for the football was usually a good idea, but you got to know where the chain is, and you got to make the first down.
So a change of possession. Michigan gets it back. They'll likely run it out with 3:54 to go, and the jug looks like it's going to stay in their hands.
HD?
HD.
Thoughts?
Lots of thoughts. LCD, plasma.
Pivo surround sound, head spinning.
Deep breath. Likes?
Cowboy explosions, touchdown robots.
Cooking, tearjerkers, crime dramas.
Sing-along musicals.
This system.
Hi.
Mechanically inclined?
Emergency room inclined.
We install.
High five.
We pledge a complete home theater experience and the confidence that you won't pay too much with a 60-day price guarantee on HD TVs. That's HD done right at Best Buy.
Ain't it good? Ain't it right that you are with me here tonight? The music playing, a body swaying in time. Time and time. Rock me gently, rock me. Baby, baby, rock me gently.
After the 0-2 start to Michigan's season, a lot of people around here were not thinking about a Big Ten championship. They thought it was going to get real bad around here, but credit Lloyd Carr and his coaching staff and this team. They have turned it around. They're going to get their 7th straight win here today, it looks like. Now, they've started out, Coach, 0-2 in the past 20 years 2 other times.
Yep.
And still won the Big Ten title.
How'd they do? Yeah, how'd they finish?
Yep.
That's what tradition allows you to do. And Ron English, again, Ron's been, and justifiably so, mentioned an awful lot in this broadcast because he did a great job of coaching. And here's Mallett coming out of the game and getting a nice round of applause from the fans, which he certainly deserves. You fight through these things as a true freshman. You learn to handle the ball. You make some great plays and give your team a chance to win, and that's what he did.
Nick Sheridan, a redshirt freshman out of Saline, Michigan, which is nearby, running the offense now. Junior Hemingway is the running back, also a freshman. And they're going to keep it on the ground and try and work this clock. Sheridan coming back out. Now David Cohn, another redshirt freshman. They just keep trotting him out. He's going to take a snap at quarterback. He had a great prep career in Georgia. He's from Statesboro, Georgia, number 12. And now he's going to get a crack. And they'll hand off. And a big run out into Minnesota territory. Artis Chambers with the run.
He was
actually Mike Milano the carry.
Mike just about popped it. Mike might be a little bit of a Rudy story here. Just guessing.
There's a couple of 38s in the roster.
Yeah, that's a redundant number, so it's kind of hard to tell who's who. But it's nice to see the kids that practice hard so much and don't get to play very often get in a game like this.
Another run. Milano to the 42-yard line. Michigan coming up after today has an in-state rivalry game with Michigan State on the road. Then they go to Wisconsin, and then they come back home for the big game against Ohio State, and it very well could decide the Big Ten again.
Well, that's exactly right. But what happened, Ron English, as we began to say a while ago, he said tradition allows you to do well in adversity because you're reminded of what you're supposed to be as a Michigan football team.
Right.
And this team remembered.
Milano again. And in a lot of ways, maybe that adversity at the very beginning of the season is going to turn out to be a blessing for this Michigan team.
Well,
went through some discovery phases early.
You never have a great football team that doesn't go through some kind of adversity. You lose a key player or some tragedy occurs and you have to fight back from that. That's why football is a valuable teacher about life. If you just don't give up, if you get up off the ground and continue to fight, then you always have a chance. And if you got a lot of great players and smart coaches like Michigan, you might be champions.
Michigan rushing the football today over 300 yards on the ground. And while Ryan Mallett was struggling, that's what got Michigan through large portions of this game, Coach.
That's exactly right, and that's what Michigan football is supposed to be. When Bo Schembechler was still around here, I'd love to go by and see him when I came up here, and I'd say, how are we doing, Bo, here at Michigan? Oh, we don't run the ball like we should. Well, they ran it like they should today.
How would you grade out Mallett?
I would grade out Mallett as adequate because he has such a wonderful touch on the deep ball, but he's got to learn to take care of the football when he gets sacked, and he's got to learn to not drop the ball without those unforced errors. Those must change by next week.
Now Michigan is going to go to 7-2. Pass and a catch, and down to the 21-yard line. David Cohn threw that pass, and that's going to do it. 34-10. Michigan gets the win. They stay on top of the Big Ten, and they are going to be watching very closely to that game in Happy Valley tonight as Ohio State, the #1 team in the land, takes on Penn State. You know they're going to be rooting for an upset tonight. And would that even be an upset, Coach? I got to ask you that.
No, I think that's an even game. I mean, if anything, Penn State should probably be favored in that stadium. But it'll be a great football game, and I don't think Michigan cares what anybody else does right now. They're taking care of their own business, and you really have to admire this coaching staff and this group of seniors for bringing this team off the mat into this kind of performance, and they'll need to continue to improve.
Today's Chevrolet players of the game, Michigan, Mario Manningham. And Davis for Minnesota, good job defensively, 10 tackles, 1 forced fumble. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. When we come back to the Big House, we'll wrap it up 34-10. Michigan wins its 7th straight. They keep the jug in hand. (34-10) the final. No Henny, no Hart, but Michigan gets it done over Minnesota today.
Like I said so many times today, when you're traditional power and you get embarrassed, you got two choices. You can wallow around and have a terrible season, or you can fight back. And the senior leadership and the veteran staff, headed by Lloyd Carr, and I think, frankly, Jake Long, just did a great job of pulling this team off the carpet, and now they're in the hunt, and they really have a legitimate chance to be champions again.
They'll take on Michigan State next on the road. 34-10. The Wolverines win it. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. On behalf of our entire ESPN crew, for Coach Bill Curry, I'm Clay Mathick. Good night from Ann Arbor.
Coming up on Michigan Replay, the Wolverines keep the little brown jug thanks to a win over Minnesota. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet a record-setting quarterback turned Wolverine safety. And don't look now, but it's Michigan State week. We'll scout the Spartans. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Pepsi, more happy, by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA, by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? By the University of Michigan Health System, working together, that's the Michigan difference. By Big Boy Restaurants, Big Boy, it's a Michigan thing. And by TCF Bank, for all your banking needs, all you need is a little TCF.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, the Wolverines get a 34-10 win over Minnesota, and Lloyd Carr remains in charge of the little brown jug for another year.
Well, it's great to keep it in Ann Arbor, Jim. It wasn't easy, was it?
No, it wasn't.
It's never easy.
Well, hey, this year, you name me a game that's easy, period. It just isn't going to happen anymore.
Well, it's exciting to keep it here, though, because when you lose it, it's a miserable experience.
It is indeed. And the thing about this little brown jug game, it got started and it didn't go as planned, did it?
This team is driving me crazy. I mean, we
driving
get behind,
you crazy. You should see me up there in the broadcast
I could
booth.
imagine.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Tell me how you get them back after a start like this.
Well, I don't think any of us expected it. The rain and the wind, you know, it stopped raining just before the game started, but the wind was a real factor. And after an exchange of punts here, Minnesota puts together their longest drive of the day, Jim. They hit their big wide receiver Decker there for a big gain, first down. Now the quarterback, we miss an assignment on the perimeter, and Adam Weber, who did a real nice job at the freshman quarterback from Minnesota, gets them a big first down. They kick a field goal, and they get a 3-0 win.
It's a 3-0 game, and then this is where things start to get a little bit strange. Is your offense seems to sputter.
Well, we hit a good pass here on a third down play. Ryan hits Adrian Arrington, well caught, well thrown ball. And then Carlos got the ball in the wrong arm because the handoff wasn't clear there. And so the play started off bad from the beginning, and it went to worse when we fumbled the football and give it back to Minnesota.
But your defense really comes up there on a 2nd and 15. And it forces them back, and they're forced to kick the football.
Well, after that first drive for the field goal, our defense played wonderful against, statistically, one of the better offenses in the country.
But here's one that you wish didn't happen at all.
Well, these Barbers, they keep playing up at Minnesota.
Yeah, what is it about those
Barbers? I remember when Marion came out, went to Minnesota, and of course his oldest son had a great career there, but we turned the ball over, Jim, on a quarterback center exchange, and they run it in for a touchdown. Now we're down 10-0.
And that's not the way it was. Now here, the passing game starts to get going. This is just a great catch by Arrington.
Well, Ryan hung it a little bit, just enough that Adrian could make a wonderful catch and gives us some field position. We stall the drive, but Casey Lapata kicks a field goal, and now we're back to a one-score game.
How about Casey Lapata? That was into the wind. That was a big kick there.
Well, he's done an absolutely wonderful job.
And then Minnesota fumbles the football. Now, this is something that they've done all year. It was good to get a turnover because now this puts you back in position, in decent field position.
Well, Brandon Graham comes up with the football, and he's a guy that just plays with a lot of emotion. He's gotten better every week. And here Ryan throws a very good pass, but Mario makes an outstanding catch. And again, we've got great field position. We don't do much with it. And Casey kicks another field goal, and both those, Jim, into the wind, as you mentioned.
And it's a 10-6 game right now. The other thing I'd like to mention on that throw, great protection. You did a great job protecting Ryan.
Well, our offensive line has done a pretty good job throughout the course of this season. Here's another third down stop. Donovan Warren, a guy that gets better every week, makes a play there. We had a good call, a blitzing linebacker hit the quarterback.
Then you start to run the football, and I thought this was key. You had them now backing out of there and on their heels.
Well, our offensive line, I think we've had some learning experiences in finding the holes. I thought in this game, Jim, that Brandon Miner and Carlos Brown really had their best games as far as seeing and getting into the holes.
This is a 3rd and 6. Another wonderful catch by Manningham.
Well, Mario made some wonderful catches, and that was one of them, 360 there, catching the ball, turning all the way around here. And on a 3rd down play, we get an interference call and a first down and 2.
And Mario makes that interference call because he gets position on the corner. Then Brandon Miner makes them pay.
Well, they get a little penetration, but we opened up such a hole on the left side there behind Jake and Adam and Carson Butler that Brandon makes a good run and gets us a lead at the halftime, finally.
Yeah, 13-10. I mean, were you going off at halftime going, man, I can't believe we got the lead, because you had to fight back from a pretty big hole.
Well, I think our defense really steadied, kept us in the game, and then finally, we started to run the ball better, but I think the biggest thing that happened in the first half is we had some big pass plays that changed field position.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at the second half when Michigan puts it away. But first, we hear from Tim Jamison, who says the Wolverines knew Minnesota could be tough on offense.
We knew that coming in this game, they had a very good offensive coordinator, that they were going to get some good plays. Like I said, they were ranked number 2 in the nation. I mean, in the Big Ten. So we just came out there, play hard. We didn't get frustrated or nothing when they scored some big runs, but we did our job.
Michigan Replay and Alro Steele take you inside the locker room.
Fred Jackson is a great coach. He just got people lined up for that because he's that good, you know. Go in there any kind of situation and take care of them.
Wolverines had a 13-10 lead at halftime on Saturday over Minnesota. What did you tell the guys at halftime after being, in a tight game right then?
Well, I told them I thought our defense had played extremely well. I thought we'd done some good things in the kicking game. And offensively, we settled down the second quarter. And the main thing, don't turn the football over. Don't be careless with it. And let's play our best football of the season these next 2 quarters.
Well, in the third quarter, it stayed fairly close. You're running the football a little bit. It's late in the third quarter when you finally get a position where you can make something happen. I thought this is the biggest play in the game right here because it's still a 3-point game and you finally make a big play to put yourself in position to score.
Well, Jim, it really did change field position. It was a third down play. I thought Mike DeBoer made a good call. And here, great blocking from the left side of the line. You see Jake blocking a guy down the field. Greg Matthews comes back and makes a good play. And we got a first down on the 5-yard line.
And then Carlos Brown goes in. But at this point now, it's a 10-point game. But that pass to Manningham just seemed to spark the whole team, didn't it?
Well, I think it really did. I think that's what big plays do for you. And we took advantage of that.
And here, it sparks the defense. You get a sack and you force them on 3rd and 2 to kick the ball back to you.
Well, we had good pressure and Brandon got through there. And he's, along with our entire front four, Terrence Taylor, Tim Jamison, those guys, and Sean Crable, they're doing a great job for us.
And this is your next possession, and that's late in the third quarter. You get a big play out of Brandon Miner, gets you to the midfield. Now you go up top again, and this is just a great pass and catch.
Well, it is, and Ryan makes a perfect throw here. And when you consider the way we started the game, the way he started the game with the fumbling the snap, he came back and acquitted himself quite well.
On a 3rd and 3, they go to the option. They're still down 27-10, and your defense is still not giving up the big play. They're forcing them to go the long way.
Well, we've got a lead, and the main thing that we did in this game is we didn't give up the big plays. Here's Sean Crable, who's one of the leading statistical leaders in the nation in tackles for loss. Comes up with a big play, and here is one of the exciting plays of the day.
This is the one you called, right?
No, I didn't call it, but I was delighted to see Carlos hit that crease there. And as we've talked about from the beginning on Carlos, he's a guy that can really run fast, and it's great to see him and Brandon play like they did today.
Well, they did just such a great job. And then we wanted to put this play in to show how the game closed. The defense just continued to play well against an offense that averaged pretty big numbers, and they got nowhere near that on Saturday.
Well, very big numbers, Jim, and I think we did a great job, particularly on 3rd down. We got them off the field. We kept giving our offense some opportunities, and even though we struggled a little bit, eventually we were able to take control of the line of scrimmage.
You spoke after the game about Ryan Mallett and how a week ago against Illinois he was frustrated and had difficulty handling a tough game that he had. And you were very complimentary about how he came back from early mistakes in this one.
Well, I really feel good about the progress and where he came in 8 days, because he was not happy with the way he performed last week. And yet, you have to remember what a young guy he is. And everything that happens in all of these games learning experiences for him, and yet he's played well enough, and certainly in this game against Minnesota, he made some big throws that gave us a chance to win.
And those throws came after those mistakes, which is saying something because he didn't get down on himself to kind of pout, but he came back and performed.
Well, Jim, a week ago he got frustrated because he had a couple of snaps. This week he didn't. That's real progress because he is a guy who wants to play well, and he has great pride in himself. And I think his teammates helped him through a tough week. But, you know, it's all about learning, and that's true. We're seeing now the benefit of some of the experience that our running backs are
Carlos
getting.
and Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Well, the Little Brown Jug stays in Ann Arbor, the final 34-10 Michigan over Minnesota. Don't go away. When we come back, we'll meet Brandon Engelman. But first, we hear from Sean Crable talking about the defense. It was all about management against Minnesota.
Well, at first we didn't really know what they were going to do. You know, we knew they liked it to pass. We knew they wanted to run the ball. They're averaging like, you know, close to 500 a game. You know, and our assignments really was just to limit them to what they could do. I mean, we knew they had a good offensive coordinator. We knew they was going to do a lot of things, but we just wanted to limit what they did.
Now, the Pontiac Performance Play of the Game.
Here's Mallett to throw. Looking, a lot of time. Guns it near side. Juggling catch by Manningham inside the 20, down to the 15-yard line. What a grab by Mario Manningham.
Brandon Engelman arrived at Michigan as a record-setting quarterback from Covington, Kentucky. His position changed once he got to Ann Arbor. He went from quarterback to defensive back, and the truth is, he knew it would happen all along.
Really, I came in as a corner, but I mean, I guess Coach E said I wasn't fast enough, so he moved me to safety. But I mean, just me being competitive, and Coach Herman wanting to put me in a position where I could succeed. I knew I wasn't going to come up here and play quarterback, of course. I was just willing to step up for that challenge. He said he didn't promise me anything. He just said, I'm going to put you in a position to give you a chance to compete. And with that being said, I just wanted that opportunity.
Brandon has seized that opportunity and has been a steady contributor since his sophomore year. Now, as a fifth-year senior, he's fallen in love with the safety position because it's very close to how he made his name back in high school.
Safeties are a lot like quarterbacks on the defense, so you have to get people lined up. Me and Jamar, kind of get the corners intact with us, and you get to do everything on defense. You get the blitz, you get the cover, you get to hit people when their backs turn to you. You get to hit people when they're looking at you. So, I mean, and you get to make plays as a safety, and that's just the fun of playing defense.
Defensive coordinator Ron English and secondary coach Vance Bedford are key factors in Engelman's development. He's playing the best football of his life right now, and he may be, from beginning as a youngster to this point, the most improved Wolverine, and he'll tell you why.
First of all, it starts with being able to communicate with the rest of the team, and then the second thing is being able to fly around and hit. And that's one of the things that Coach E emphasizes on. And then with the addition of Coach Bedford, he wants you to make plays, put you in position to make those plays. So with that being said, like with those two coaches, I mean, how could you not be successful?
He's such a good kid. And the interesting thing, talk about perseverance. Brandon Engelman did not start this season. And it was game 1 or 2 or 3, I forget which one, where he moved into the starting spot. And as you've said, he's having a wonderful year.
Jim, this guy's having a great year. And, you know, he's an award winner, academic student athlete for the National Football Foundation out of high school and since he's been at Michigan. So he's a guy that brings great character and what he's done on the field in terms of and off the field in terms of leadership and being a role model for our younger players. This guy's really something special.
That's great. And that's what college football is a lot about. Kids like Brandon Engelman growing up and just being good kids, good players, and good people. When we come back, we'll scout those Spartans from Michigan State. But first, we hear from Terrence Taylor telling us MSU is a familiar group.
It does. I know a couple guys over there at Michigan State, and it feels good to go over there and get a win. So that's one thing. We're going to go into practice real serious, have a good 2 days of practice, and go to this game real focused.
Michigan Replay reminder, honor the 2007 Wolverines at the 87th Annual Football Bust, Monday, November 26th at the Laurel Manor in Livonia. Master of Ceremonies will be Michigan football broadcaster Frank Beckman. For ticket information, call 1-800-847-4764. That's 1-800-847-4764, weekdays between 9 and 5. Michigan Replay and Alro Steel take you inside the locker room.
We're still in contention for the Big Ten championship, so we know we have to come out and have a great game, and I'm sure there's going to be a time where I'm going to get in there and they're going to need me to hit a kick, so I just got to come be prepared and have a good week of practice and make sure I do my best part to get everyone else as prepared as they can be too.
Well, it's Michigan State week. The battle for the Little Brown Jug is ancient history. Now comes the old Paul Bunyan Trophy.
Well, you should know.
I'm from East Lansing.
You're from East Lansing?
How
did you get down here?
You know, I was like the three wise men. I walked out of the house, saw a star in the
east.
east.
Well, you got a great family background that goes back
and they're good
to
Spartans.
State.
They're good Spartans. My mom, my dad, my brother Art, but I'm amazing blue guy.
Thank God.
And you've got to handle the green and white Spartans of new coach Mark D'Antonio. And this is a team that can run a football.
Well, they're one of the top 5 teams in the nation rushing the football, and an outstanding quarterback, Brian Hoyer, who's a guy that gets them in the right play. He's got a very strong arm, and a guy that is not going to make mistakes.
But their featured players is Javon Ringer and Jehu Coker, aren't they?
Ringer, they're just as different as two backs could be. Ringer is a guy with great speed, make you miss, tough. Jehu is a guy that's 260 pounds. He's scored 16 touchdowns this year. That's a career. Yeah.
And Devin Thomas is their big play wide receiver.
This guy has broken on the scene, and I mean, everybody in the nation knows who he is.
Defensively, Janelle St. Deke he's already set a record for fumbles forced. Caleb Thornhill, old Charlie Thornhill's son, middle linebacker, and Kendall Davis-Clark is their best secondary guy. This is a test. In East Lansing, they're going to be very difficult.
Well, I don't think there's any question that this is going to be a typical Michigan State game. I mean, you've got to stop the run. If you don't stop the run against Michigan State, they won't throw it. They don't, they got guys that like to run it. They got a big, strong, physical offensive line. And I like their defensive front. I mean, the linebackers are good, but these guys in the front are athletic, they're tough, and they're guys that can make big plays.
Got to ask you the question, and just because it's on the mind of
every
Michigan.
You don't have to.
Yes,
Jim.
I do. Because I am basically the spokesperson for all the Michigan faithful out there.
Oh, you are?
How do you like that?
Yeah.
Did I get away with that?
Yeah,
you did. Pretty good, huh?
You're pretty cool.
People want to know. And I know it's awful early.
People want to know.
People want to know. Always early in the week, but they're going to ask questions about Chad Henne and Mike Hart and their availability against Michigan State.
Jim, we're going to know a lot more Tuesday when we get out back on the practice field. I hate to say the same thing. I think they're much improved. Mike, was much improved late in the week. He wanted to play on Saturday morning, I guarantee you that. And I think Chad will be fine. I think, however, it's like anything else. You just have to see, because neither one of them practiced much this week. We went in with the idea that we wanted to make sure that they were as close to 100% when they return as they can. And so, but we'll just have to see how it goes, and we'll go from there. But we're a better football team today than we were last week because we had some young guys step up.
All right. Well, it's Michigan State next week. It's always going to be a beauty. Be here with us next week. We'll go over it all on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Sirius Satellite Radio. By the University of Michigan Alumni Association, uniting the leaders and best. www.umalumni.com. By State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. By AT&T, for a behind-the-scenes look at sports, visit attblueroom.com/sports. And by Powered by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA.